dirt roads to rock crawling, two-buck chuck to screaming eagle, moonshine to 50-year-old single malt. We talk about it all here on Wheelin' Wine and Whiskey with your hosts, Jason and Chris.
Welcome to Wheeling Wine and Whiskey, episode 98, at the home studio. Once again, Chris sitting down at the 8-foot distance at the end of the table. How the hell are you, Chris?
I'm freaking awesome.
Right on. Welcome.
This is the fourth week in a row we've been in the home studio.
Yeah, it's been kind of nice. Been kind of nice. The weather's been great, and we're just enjoying it and cooking up some great meals.
I feel like we need to get out on the trail, though.
Well, some of us have been out on trails.
Well,
you know,
yeah,
working on shit, getting it ready. You know, it's all good.
Okay,
just saying.
Wow.
Okay,
stab me again.
Well, all right. So, episode 98.
Yeah, goddamn.
And you know, we just can't stop talking about KOH.
No,
because we love it.
It was badass, and we're just super thrilled that it happened this year and all the entertainment that went with it.
Absolutely.
Whether it was on the track or off.
Last episode, we had Kyle in here and his girlfriend.
That's right.
Vanessa.
That's correct.
And that was freaking great.
Hearing all
Kyle
about EVE.
Yeah, EVE.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we just had to continue with KOH.
It's a great trend.
We've been trying to catch up with this individual, but he's on the move a lot. It's hard
to
keep
guy.
up with this individual. Justin Hall.
Woohoo!
How's it going, guys?
Rock Hard Racing. How you doing?
Doing great.
Welcome to the home studio once again.
The home studio is beautiful. Got a beautiful view.
Yeah.
The whole granite waterfall.
Don't you feel like you're in Yosemite right now?
It's great. It's great.
Along with 2 million other people.
It's like Yosemite without the tourist.
It's exactly
See?
it. And what's cool is we got like an old Willie's hood in the backyard.
I know.
Too.
See, you picked that out too.
Great.
That was from Georgia Boy. He wants to put that on the buggy. I don't know if that's going to work out, but we might try and make that work. We'll see how ambitious we get this spring. But right on, Justin. Well, thanks for coming down, carving out some time. And we wanted to get an update. You know, you're one of our drivers that we follow. This is the third interview we've done with you.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, so you're like in the fold, if you will, with Wheeling Wine and Whiskey, whether you want to be or not.
I'm not going to say no. Like I said, we already talked about a safe word earlier, so we're okay.
That was with Chris, not me. I don't know.
Man. Well, you know, we've lost super producer Lorenzo, so, I've taken over those responsibilities.
Did you see him at all at the desert?
Not.
You didn't see him at all?
I only saw the photo. You said that he was missing, and that's it.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah.
It is a mystery, and we're trying to figure it out, but we'll see. We'll see if he shows up here. He may show up in a garbage bag, like dismembered. I don't know. We just don't know. I know. I hope that's not the case.
Were we thinking about putting together a reward package or something?
I have been. I've been trying to save up the stimulus package. Maybe if you take like $50 from your stimulus package and I take $50 from mine, maybe we got $100 reward.
I was thinking 50 cents.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know.
Wow. I was going to throw in a bottle of whiskey.
Oh, really?
Yeah. A bottle of wine.
Jason's over here overdoing it.
Yeah, I'm just trying. I want
You can see how much Chris cares about
exactly.
Lorenzo.
A wild turkey.
A little wild turkey. Hey, there's some good wild turkey bourbon out there.
Nice.
There's the ultra rare breed.
I think I have a bottle of that at home.
Do you really? Look at you. See, you have stuff that you haven't even showed me yet. That's in your liquor collection.
It's in the closet.
It's because you guys are always doing stuff at your house.
That's right. That's right. I rarely
Jason
I rarely get invited to his house, and when I get invited to his house, I'm secluded to the backyard because I got to I'm like the dirty guy that's been out at all these different events.
Things are changing, man.
Coronavirus.
We're all vaccinated now.
Yeah.
Well, see, there you go.
Yeah.
You are?
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah, you?
Well, only
Are
one. No, I've been vaccinated because I've had it.
Oh, okay.
I have the antibodies.
Got it. Yeah, I did my first shot earlier this week, I think.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Did it hurt?
It did for a couple days afterwards, yeah. I figured the second one's when they start inserting the microchip into you. That's why it hurts the worst.
It's true. It's true.
It's true.
Yeah.
What they say.
That's right. So there you go. All right, so let's roll into your experience leading up to KOH. So we talked to you, I don't know, 3-4 weeks or whatever. You were in final prep stages of KOH.
Yeah, I think it was almost right around New Year's. Or just right after New Year's.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah.
And so we were at your garage. Mm-hmm. Drank a bunch of
it's a
silver
shack.
bullets.
It's a
the shack.
It's not quite a garage. People don't understand that unless they've seen it, and you have seen it. It's definitely a
How are those
Sugar
tarps
Shack?
holding up? The tarps doing okay?
Oh, it's
Yeah.
doing great. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been holding up. It's in all the rain we've been getting. It's been
Right on.
completely dry in there. It's
Shit,
awesome.
well, there you go.
Yeah, I'm not complaining one bit.
Nice.
It's the driest year I've had in there.
Yes.
It's the driest year in California.
Yeah,
Well, you got the mother of all drains right outside your shop
right.
that the
That is
city
true.
put in. I mean,
Yeah.
that thing.
yeah, that big
That
catch
is
basin
insane.
right out there.
You should call that thing Mona or something, man. It's freaking. It's huge. I don't know.
If he ever has a tidal wave hitting Morgan Hill,
Yeah.
If,
Yeah.
if there's a huge surge, an ocean surge, it will get swallowed up by Mona in front of the shop.
And pumped right back out into the street. That's fine.
I've seen some drains in my days in the landscape and golf course industry.
That's a hell-
and
it's a hell of a drain.
That is one of the biggest drains I've seen.
Legitimate, like 4
Yeah.
foot by 4 foot. I
Yeah.
think it's like 8 foot deep.
Yeah.
I don't fall in
Yeah.
that fucking
Yeah.
thing.
No, no. I have
it'll-
lost a couple bolts down there. I'm like,
I'm
okay, I
sure.
guess they're gone forever. Never seeing
Car
those
keys.
again.
These small children.
Yeah. Kids come over.
Yeah.
Where'd Billy go? I don't know.
Mona got him.
Is that Lassie?
Yeah. Your dog's barking. Billy's in the well. All right. This is going sideways early. I love it.
All right.
I wouldn't expect anything less.
No, exactly. So let's roll into pre-KOH. Since we last talked to you, you were getting the car ready, and you had a little issue when you were.
Yeah, so when I last talked to you, we were getting the car dialed in, and I was just getting ready to take the car to a chassis rack and get the front end pulled back straight because it was bent up a little bit. So went and did that, and went through, had all the panels painted by No End Customs in Morgan Hill.
Dude, that came out great.
Yeah, it was a beautiful paint job they did of all the
livery,
Falcon livery.
The livery.
Yeah.
So why do they call it the livery? I mean, I've heard.
I don't understand
What
the
it-
term livery, but
I don't know, and
yeah.
I've heard that, and it's just so odd to me. And
Everybody,
somebody
like all like major companies,
Yeah.
it's always like, oh, you're going to run
Livery.
our livery.
Yeah.
I haven't
okay,
really
so
ever
we
looked
need
it up.
to put that in the notes, Chris. We
Yeah.
need to do research on that.
We just need to
because
Google it. It's fine.
I would have Lorenzo Google it right now, but he's not here. But
Yeah.
I would love to know where that term originated because it's so odd.
yeah,
You
it
guys
is an
keep talking
interesting
and
term.
I'll
Yeah.
figure this
Oh,
out.
okay, good.
Yeah, that'll
All right.
work. But yeah, so we had No End Customs do the livery on the car,
Right.
and I was one of my good buddies, Chase. He was we planned on doing a like little photo shoot, little video of the car, like
Okay.
a pre King of the Hammers release of the car being painted and all that stuff with the livery. And we go to start the car up, doesn't really want to start up. We're like, this is weird.
That's not good.
It doesn't seem this car's never done this. We're thinking maybe the starter's going out, whatever. So we get it fired up, take it to the back lot because I just happen to have like a half acre
Yeah,
behind my
you
house.
got
That's
a nice
awesome for doing photos like that.
Spot there, yeah.
So yeah, did the photos, went to fire the car up, still was like acting super weird and like whatever. So I get it fired up, bring it around. The next day, I went and go buy a starter because it's the quickest, easiest thing to do. Go to put a new starter in it, fire it up, still doing the same thing. I'm like, what the
Wow.
hell can it be? So the only other thing was the battery. Battery's just not holding the charge anymore.
Uh-huh.
It's been the same battery in my old car too. So it's got 5 years on that battery. It's a yellow. It's a
5
yellow
hard
top.
years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It hasn't been like it's been pretty hard on it. And so yeah, when I was doing the replacing the starter, I was looking at the front drive shaft clearance to the starter, and it's always been really close. And I had an issue when I first built the car that I corrected it, where the starter or where the drive shaft come up and hit the starter.
Right.
And I'm looking at it and looking at clearance. I'm like, that's not as much as I used to have. And the only thing I could think of when I pulled the car, the front end back straight, it may have moved the motor down just a touch.
Got it.
On the motor mounts
Yep,
and however
yep.
all that worked out. And so I found this out like 2 days before I was going to load it into the trailer to head down the hammers. And
Nothing
what do I
like
do?
Last minute stuff.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
It was fine. I just decided to cut the whole carrier bearing mount out and drop it another inch and get all the clearance in the world, and it was good.
Thank God for fabrication
Yeah.
skills.
And a welder.
Yeah, anything is capable when you
It
have
really
a welder.
is. Yeah.
It's fine.
Right.
Gluing metal together.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I got lucky. I found that because the very first year I built the car, I missed the fact that it had drive shaft clearance, and I ended up knocking the starter out of it in the middle of sunbonnet, and it like probably 13 miles away from the finish line, and I couldn't get the car started again. So I'm glad I caught this beforehand so that didn't happen again.
So fortunate. Yeah. That's
yeah.
right on your property. You can just wheel it right back into the shop and the shack and work on it.
Oh, yeah. It was great. It couldn't have happened at a better spot because I wouldn't have wanted to make that fix out at Hammers.
Oh, God. Yeah, for sure.
And when
just in.
Yeah.
What?
I don't know about livery.
Uh-oh, yeah. Let's hear
what?
it.
You actually have a... Here we go.
All right.
Who needs Lorenzo?
Vehicle livery can be used to promote a brand or for unrelated advertising compared to the goods contained in the vehicle. This can enable companies to become iconic.
Wow.
Falcon is an iconic company.
He is.
So.
As a result of their livery. I'm not going to use this example.
But that's interesting. But that's but it doesn't.
It's just a term that they coined for that.
Who invented this term? I want to know.
Yeah.
Really? You make me dig.
I want to
go
go deeper. Lorenzo would have gone full deep. He goes balls deep in this shit when he's doing research, and he just kind of skim the surface.
He doesn't just dabble with the tip.
He doesn't play that game just the tip. He goes balls deep.
I'm doing it wrong. The etymology. Oh boy.
Yeah.
That's for trail chasers there.
In the 14th century, the word livery referred to an allowance of any kind, but especially clothes provided to servants and members of the household. Such things might be kept in a livery cupboard. That doesn't apply.
It doesn't.
Anyway, it goes back a long time ago. 14th century. That's even before my time.
Yeah.
So Jose is the one that referenced balls deep in Old Elk.
Right.
Yeah. So that's for you, Jose. SoCal FJ FCJ 80.
The more you know.
I know. The more you know. We need that. We need that.
I do.
You need that.
Oh, you got it?
Hold on. Man,
No.
I'm so behind the
Oh,
times.
Jesus. Look at this. He's
digging for it.
Do we really have it? That's fucking awesome right there. All right.
The more you know.
All right, the more you know. It's a little slow, but that's good.
It's fine. He's got it figured out.
He's got
now
it. At least he had it. He's had it.
All right. Anyway,
All right.
I'm going to continue drinking in the corner.
Okay, perfect. You're doing a great job.
You're doing great. Doing fantastic.
All right, so then you load your car in the trailer.
So
head down to KOH.
Yep. Yeah, we went down there. We got down there Thursday afternoon.
Yeah.
Set up camp and set up pit and all that stuff because I had a photo shoot on Friday and then shock tuning also with Phil, Liberty Mountain Fab, which is pretty important to do out there.
Right.
And
Shock Jesus, that you termed him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good old Shock Jesus. He literally is the best. He won't ever admit that he's probably the best, but I feel he's the best.
There you go.
There's so many people out there that use him.
Yeah.
And, that Phil is a great shock tuner.
That's great.
Yeah, so we get down there Thursday, set up camp, all that stuff, unload the car, make sure the car looks good for the photo shoot. No big deal. Jump in the car, 5 o'clock in the morning, head over, meet up with, I think, Lona Scott with Scott's Design.
Oh, yeah, Scott's Design photo. You see those photos all the time.
Yeah.
So we were doing a photo shoot of the car, and we get a park, do cool sunrise photos and stuff like that. Me and my fire shoot, the whole 9 yards, and she wants to get some action shots. I'm like, all right, cool, no problem. I can take care of this. So we found a little cool spot I could air the car out a little bit. We had some cool photos of that, and then she's like, hey, can you throw some dust at me and stuff like that? I'm like, yeah, I got this. It's not a problem. I didn't have it. I did not. No, I ran out of talent real quick.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I rolled the car 2.5 times at 45 mile an hour and ended up
on the desert floor.
Yeah, on the desert floor on perfectly flat ground. Perfectly flat ground. I rolled the car over and where's that one at? There it is. Yeah, so ended up, it went, like I said, 2.5 times over, landed on its roof. So we pulled it back over. Hood's wasted. The roof's dented in. Brand new paint job on the car.
The brand new livery.
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 Everything.
Right, man.
I don't know.
All of it was, it still looked okay, but it was pretty mangled. So.
Okay.
Was the Wheeling Wine and Whiskey sticker okay?
I think it was okay. Yeah, it was fine.
That was in the
priorities.
Inside. It was on the inside on the floorboard, underneath the seat. That's where that sticker is.
It's normally on the bottom of the skid plate, so when you're upside down, you see it better.
You see it when he rolls over.
Oh, man, that's why you kept rolling over, so the drone would catch it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Anyways,
so we get the car pulled back over on its wheels. I take it back to camp because I had to shock tuning appointment right after
Yeah.
that. So we get back to camp, rip the hood off of it, make sure everything's kind of okay on it. Headlight was broke off of it, so we got that kind of back into place. And like I said, we just took the hood off for now, went and did shock tuning, then came back, got the hood all dialed back in as best as we can. It actually came out pretty good. I've messed up enough Samurai hoods in my life on this car, actually, that I figured out how to beat them and bend them back into place.
We saw it after you fixed it, and it was hard to tell that you rolled. I mean, until you really looked close at things. But I do need to go back for a minute.
Okay.
When you were doing that photo shoot and you got 2.5 barrel roll, what was going through your mind? Was it like Ricky Bobby when he was rolling in the race there, like? You know,
we are flying through the air right now. This is not good.
This is not good.
For the most part, it was like, crap, I can't believe I just ruined this paint job on this car. Like,
that was the first thing you thought of.
It literally was the first thing. I'm like, what was really messed up? Falcon never even got to see the car pretty.
Really?
They were getting on a lakebed Friday afternoon to set up everything, and I didn't know how to tell them that I did that. It was
whoopsie.
Yeah. It's a nature racing. It's going to happen, but it just sucks that it happened literally
early on.
20 minutes into me driving the car.
Shit.
Wow.
And so after the shock tuning appointment, we got the car dialed in, which didn't take a whole lot.
I was going to say,
work.
how long did it take for Phil to dial it in?
My car, we haven't really touched my car that much because it hasn't really needed to, but I had to make I made a tow-in change on it. And then we were talking about later on, we're going to move my spare tire back, go to a little lighter rear sway bar in the car to try to loosen things up in it. Okay. But take like 25, 30 minutes for him to get the car dialed in with just a couple clicks on the tubes.
Yeah.
Made a big difference.
Boom. I like it.
Yeah. So, like I said, do the shock tuning, get back to camp, get the hood fitted or fitment somewhat okay.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
It was pretty good.
There was a hood pin that was broke. The headlight was broke out. So we fixed the headlight, fixed the hood pin, bent the hood back into place, and just kind of cleaned the car and gave a good once over. And I parked the car.
Yeah.
I didn't drive the car for 2.5 days after that. I was completely mind screwing myself of
mind fuck going on
I don't know what was going on with me. I don't know, did I lose my edge? Something I don't know what it was, but
the mental game is huge.
It is.
It is huge in anything. Not just racing, but just something like that happens and you just get mind fucked, and it's like, it takes a lot to get over that.
Yeah. How many psychiatrists does Tiger Wood have? Maybe they need psychologists on the lakebed.
Honestly, it probably wouldn't have hurt.
Yeah.
Because luckily I have good friends that I was able to talk to and just kind of talk my own frustrations out, because it was more frustrations with myself, not the car, because the car was doing fine.
Great.
It was operator error, 100% operator error, and it just you end up in a weird funk. And sometimes, luckily with hammers, you can give yourself a couple days like that, because early on in the week you don't have a whole lot going on.
Right.
I've rolled my car at practice in one of the NorCal Rock races, and you have to get out of that funk real quick, because you got a heat race coming up, and then 2 other races, 2 heat races and a main. You got to get your shit together. And I took 2.5 days before I got back in the car. But luckily, in those 2 days, I had my trail rig out there, so I could still we went out pre-running and pre-ran a bunch of rock trails in it. Which the first trail we hit was we went to Jackhammer, and because that was going to be the major issue, and I wanted to get out there before.
So easing into it.
Yeah, it's kind of like easing into it. That's my easing into it. And
just go big or go home.
I figured Jackhammer was going to be the biggest issue out of
Jack and Sledge. Yeah.
Well, we didn't have to run Sledge in the EMC race.
That's
so
right.
So Jack was literally the hardest trail we had to run. So I wanted to go out there and run the regular line, find bypasses around it, and which I found the bypass around it before it got burnt in, and I made it. Mm-hmm. But just caved the whole driver's side of my trail rig in. And mind you, this was less than 24 hours after just rolling my race car too. So, but
that had a fresh paint job on it too.
It did, yeah. But that was just a fresh rattle can. Apparently, I can't have nice things. Right. That's what. Apparently, I can't have nice things at all. So.
All right, so you're getting a shit box from now on.
XJ pre-runner.
Yeah, I need a dumpster.
Dumpster.
Dumpster on wheels. Sorry, XJ owners.
No, they know it.
Yeah. They know.
Yeah. They own it.
But so did that. like I said, wrecked the whole driver's side of the trail rig on this one spot, but figured out how to get around it. And I figured that was my last resort if the main line wasn't taken, because after I did that line, I drove down the regular line, turned around, and then drove up the regular line. Like, didn't have any issues with it. And then, we just went and pre-ran a bunch of other trails throughout. And then I think it was Monday night at like 6 o'clock is when I got back in the race car for the first time.
Wow.
And I didn't even plan on running the qualifying course. I was just going to watch it and then just say, screw it, and run it in Power Hour on Tuesday for my race, or when I had to qualify. And
because you were in Power Hour.
Yeah. But one of my buddies, he was kind of liquored up. And he goes, "Don't be a pussy. Just get in there and go drive the car." I'm like, I don't like it when people call me that.
Yeah,
it's like calling me
like that.
Yeah.
You're yellow. Like that. Yeah. You're yellow.
Yeah. He 100% was calling me out. And
That's good.
I was like, you know what? Screw it. Like, I gotta get this monkey off my back. So strap in, like fire suit on, everything, jump in the car and go turn a couple laps. I'm like, all right, I can still do this. We're fine.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to roll
straight.
Yeah.
Yeehaw.
Yeah. So I did that. And then after the qualifying, I just went out and just ripped the car through the desert. Just like, me and her needed to go through some shit.
Yeah. You had to work it out.
Yeah. I had to work it out, spend some time with
like
the car.
makeup sex.
It's kind of like that. Yeah. It's true. For lack of better words, it's just like that.
There you go.
Wheeling, wine and whiskey.
Okay.
Yeah, so me and my car sometimes have love-hate relationship.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you just gotta...
Any good relationships like that, right?
Yeah,
Chris?
mostly hate.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hate. A lot of hate.
That all you got?
Oh, boy. All right.
Well, yeah.
Back to racing.
Little sidetrack. It's fine. Yeah, so like I said, I went and ripped the car out through the desert and just spent some time in her. That came out really weird after that whole thing.
I know. Some time in her. Wow. This shit's off the rails right now.
I'm just going to roll with it. I spent some time in her. I just spent some time in her and just drove the car pretty hard and just drove it high. I would have driven the race and make sure that like, hey, like, I'm getting myself mentally right, because I still had to qualify on Tuesday.
Sure.
We talked about power, and I want to make sure I was on my A game, like I was going to be able to give it 100% and not have any issues.
So mentally, you're getting back into...
just like mentally preparing myself.
Yeah,
exactly.
that's it. But, I mean, you built this car. You know this car inside and out, every freaking nut and bolt, wire, everything about this car. And... you had this issue, you fucked up, and this, you
like I said, it was
whatever.
It was all awkward.
Car rolled.
Yeah,
but you get back into it, and you're like, okay. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't there. I wasn't driving the car. I didn't build the car, but I got to assume that you were like just the mindset when you just get into it. You hear that engine, everything's going. You're feeling the bumps, you're feeling the car, and you're like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'm back.
Yeah, it's like you got to be one with your car. Like in a weird way, you have to like when I drive, like you have to envision like the car is an extension of you and be able to like. It's like one of those stupid like cartoon shows where like guys are like in those like big armored suits like running control and stuff. Like it's the same thing. Like we have to make these cars do what we need them to do, and like mentally preparing yourself for that is a huge thing. But
but I gotta assume that that's just a lot quicker for you, more intuitive, I guess, because you built the car. I
trust the car. I trust everything about it.
It's not like you bought a chassis from whatever builder and then are racing it. I mean, that car intimately.
We've had a lot of late nights in the shack with me and that car.
Late nights shack together. The love shack.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Here we go. All right.
But me and that car.
That's cool. That's cool.
I have to be one with that car, and any car I drive is the same way. You have to know it and trust it 100%, because if you don't, you can't ever be fast in it. You can't ever just let it hang out and know the car's either going to take it or it's not.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And that goes with any form of racing. Same with like racing supercross, like dirt track racing. You got to be able to know what you're operating, if it can handle you hanging it out. Because you get your Ultra 4 racing, you're riding that ragged edge line of like going. You're just like a 16th of an inch more on a skinny pedal, and you're like crossing that line.
You're rolling. You're dying.
Yeah, you have to be on that line, like pushing that line, like pushing it farther and farther and farther. Otherwise, you're not you're not going to be up front.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
It's getting on the podium, baby.
Got to keep.
That's
keep
the idea.
moving.
At the end of the day, is getting on the podium and standing on the box. It doesn't matter if you're third, second, or first. You're still standing on the box. So
Yeah.
But even just to finish that race, I know but that's huge. Just to finish the race is pretty freaking huge because there's so many things that can go wrong that are out of your control.
Trust me, I know all about those. We'll get to those in a little bit later.
In a minute here.
But yeah, so Tuesday was qualifying. I didn't qualify until the 4:00 hour, which is power hour.
Yeah,
which
you were in
this
power
is
hour.
the second year I've been in it. Second or third year I've been in power hour. And it's a really cool experience being able to do that because you're lining up, like you're in a line with all the fast guys in the Everyman challenge. Like they put what Ultra 4 deems the fast people in the power hour.
They're going to put on a show and
So like when you're sitting in staging, I know for me, I kind of go through my head. I'm like, am I going to push it really hard or am I going to be kind of conservative? Because King of the Hammers isn't one in qualifying. It's not one in the first 10 miles of the race.
Sure.
Like, what am I going to do? And I never end up actually knowing what I'm going to do until like literally the green flag will drop. Yeah. I've had people come up to me like, oh, how are you going to think you're going to qualify? I'm like, I have no idea. It's like, well, you're not going to shoot for a spot or like a certain area. I'm like, I don't know yet. I haven't figured it out. Yeah. I'm just kind of flying by the seat of my pants and however I feel when the green flag drops is what I do. And this year, like I was waiting in line watching a lot of people, and what kind of screwed me was Ultra 4 for I was able to pre-run it on that Monday night. They set up flagging on the line that I was taking.
Oh, interesting.
So it was a far outside, like far left line that they put up a bunch of banners so you couldn't get to that spot. I'm like, oh, well, crap. Now I don't really know where to go. Because I was doing one thing and just going past and hooking that right and going up that on the far left-hand side. And so I'm watching qualifying, like watching the live footage of the guys in Power Hour trying to figure out where they're going so I can more or less do the same thing, but hopefully faster.
Right.
And so, yeah, I get into my spot. The green flag drops. Haul ass over. The first like big jump was breaking so many people's cars.
That was a major jump.
It was a huge jump. And I tried to set it in the best way I could, and I couldn't get the car to fly straight, but luckily my car is light enough, and when it jumps and it lands, it takes it. I've hucked my car pretty far, and it just takes it. So did that, like jumped it. First corner was fine. Like I knew when I hit that first corner, I have to jump, and I was moving pretty quick. I'm like, all right, I know what I'm going to do now. So I'm like putting the pedal down and hauling ass around, do the second jump out in the desert, like clipping through the little whoop sections, the little sweeper left going towards the qualifying rocks or the big qualifying uphill. I'm clipping through that bit, and there's 3 lines. There's the first.
This is that rock wall.
Yeah, the big rock wall. There's 3 lines on it. There's the first turn, which you don't want to do. The second and third one is what you want to do. My dumbass, not really pre-running it, or I only pre-ran it when I went all the way in the far like outside where the banner's at. I turned in the first one, first spot. Hit the wall, front tires went sky up in the air, like on the back wheels. I'm like, I instantly knew like I'm not messing with this. Boom, clicked in reverse, backed out, second spot, just clipped up the hill, hooked the hard U-turn, like it was like almost like 130 degree like left-hand turn up there. So hooked that. Haul ass down the hill, haul ass through the desert. Like I'm clipping pretty good. Like I know I have a decent time. I didn't think I was going to be like, I figured like top 10 just because I had that bobble on the first wall. Come across, go through a timing loop, and I just like whatever and drive right to my camp. And all my picker guys are like, dude, you had such an awesome run. I'm like, dude, that felt like shit. I don't know what you're talking about. Like that was horrible. And they're like, no, dude, like you had like a super smooth run. I'm like, did you guys not see what happened in the back? And they're like, no, we saw it, but like you were faster than anybody else out there, and ended up qualifying second.
I was going to say you were right there. Yeah,
I qualified second, and I think it was 7 seconds out of first, which was what that bobble was. That bobble cost me like 10 seconds because by the time I hit it, front end was up in the air, and I couldn't do anything. I had to wait till it came back down, and then back up and then go. Yeah, if I just hit it all at once, I would have been up there, probably qualified first. But yeah, so qualified second, was pretty stoked about that. Then another weird thing happened. I didn't even get a chance to really sell out qualifying because my dog ended up running up to another dog and got bit pretty hard.
Oh,
and
shit.
it was my fault. I had her off leash, and she was just around our campsite, and she saw another dog and took off running after it. And things happen, and I ended up spending Tuesday night down in Indio at emergency vet. And she got 8 stitches in her neck, and so that was fun. I didn't get back. So I got back at like 4 o'clock in the morning. Nah, it's like probably 2 o'clock in the morning. I didn't go to sleep till like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Man, emergency vets are not cheap.
But I had to leave her there.
Oh, you did?
I had to leave her there. So, and they didn't tell me this until like 1 o'clock in the morning. Otherwise, I would have like left her. I got there at 8 o'clock in the evening.
Wow.
And they just kept like dragging it out. Like, oh, hey, we keep having these other pets coming. Like, I get that. Like,
but
other pets coming, but like, communicate a little better.
I got a race going on, and I need to get this dog.
Oh, yeah, what they kept saying, like, oh, well, we'll just get her, like, somewhat okay, and then you just take her back home to your normal vet. I'm like, my normal vet and my home is 8 hours away. I don't think you guys understand.
We're not going to be there in a few days,
So, like I said, I ended up leaving her there, and then I got a call at 6 o'clock in the morning, said she was going to be ready for pickup, so 6 o'clock, 6:30 in the morning, jump in the truck, head back to Indio. I don't get back to Hammertown until like 2 o'clock Wednesday.
Oh, jeez.
You know, and so I didn't really have chance to celebrate anything about qualifying second, and then having to take care of my dog Wednesday and like get the car ready, like all this little stuff that kept happening. Luckily, my pit crew was awesome and they helped out and stepped up and were helping me a lot. And so Thursday was our tech and contingency, so we just got the car all set up and prettied up as best as we could for that, and passed through tech and contingency no problem, and then went back and was working, helping taking care of my dog again. Yeah, because she's middle of the desert, got 8 stitches in her neck, has a cone of shame on her. It's probably the worst place to get hurt like that. And like, oh yeah, you have to keep it clean. I'm like, I'm in the middle of the desert. God. How the hell am I going to keep this clean?
Luckily, the weather was good. By then
we lucked out for sure. And I just ended up keeping her locked up in the trailer, which sucked because she's not that type of dog. She's always she's chilling. You saw her at my house, like she's just chilling, rolling in dirt. That's just what she does.
Dogs do.
She couldn't do any of that. So that was an adventure in itself, taking care of that whole situation. Sure. So at this point, not only did I like roll my car, like screwed up my trail rig, then my dog got hurt. Everything was just like lining
like a
up.
Country song.
Oh,
it's totally a country song going on right
Did your truck run away?
Truck didn't run away. No, that was like the one solid thing. The Dodge was doing great.
The Dodge stopped running.
No, the Dodge was doing great. If it was a Ford, it probably would have left me hanging.
Yeah.
Wow.
Had to throw that in there at Jason.
I'm outnumbered here.
But again, you're outnumbered. That's right.
Yeah, so I had like so many like, it doesn't seem like they're that bad of things that happen, but like my head of being a racer and like everything's just going wrong. Like what the hell's going to happen on race day?
Sure.
Whatever. And so, we're on to Friday for race day now.
Here we go. Friday race day, EMC.
Yep.
Woo-hoo. And you're in the 4,500
class. Yes, 4,500 class.
Yeah.
So they mix. Where you qualify is how you all get mingled together. So they mix like 48 and 45s.
Yes.
Like I didn't start next to a 4,500 class car. I started next to a 4,800 car.
Okay.
The guy who got first in 45 was 2 rows in front of me.
No shit.
Yeah. So, and he didn't start next to a 40. Obviously, because I was saying he started next to 4,800. So there's like 1 row of 48s and then like one more 4,800 car was separating me from him. I think he started 17th and I was 20th off the line.
Okay. Yeah, and that's one of the things about EMC Day, I think, is the most, toughest convoluted day at the Hammers because there are all these different classes and you've got from, quote unquote bone stock vehicles to highly modified 4,800 cars that are retired 4,400 cars essentially.
Right. Yes, that are arguably faster than any 4,500 car out there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, one, they have bigger shocks, more travel, like independent or not independent, the full hydraulic steering. Like they got a
huge advantage over a stock class car that's out there racing on the same day. Of course. Yeah.
Granted, like my 4,500 car's way more advanced than like
Sure.
a 4600 class car. Cause like I'm just limited to shock travel and mechanical steering. Otherwise, if I had if I had trailing arms or full hydraulic steering, probably be just as fast as a 4800 car because we can go through the desert just as fast as them. But with limited shock travel, you can't do that.
Right.
Like I have 14-inch travel shocks, and the way I have my geometry worked out, I'm pulling like 15 and a half, 16 inches of wheel travel out of my car. And that's still not enough when guys in 4800 class are pulling like 20-something inches of wheel travel out of them. You know, it's kind of crazy. So it's hard to, like, when you're lined up next to 4800 car, you got to realize, like, I'm not racing that car. Like, you got to, like, race your own class.
But you got the engine to match those guys.
Exactly, yeah. I got the power to match them, but, like, through the desert, I just can't necessarily keep up with them.
Right.
Yeah.
Not keep up with all of them. I passed a lot of 4800 cars during the race, but at a certain point, like, they can get through the whoops just way faster than I can go.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so where were we left off at?
So
I think it was
took off the line.
Yeah. I started 20th. The 4500 car who qualified first was like 17th. So I took off the line. Like me and the 4800 car were kind of neck and neck. I kind of let him get out on me just because like I knew I'm not racing him. I'm not even racing. I'm just racing myself at this point.
Right.
I've learned my lesson to not like blow my load in the first like 16 miles of the race. And
you know, Tyler would be giggling right now.
Oh, he totally is.
Yeah. I've learned that lesson quite a few times, and so I kind of backed myself down a little bit. But my crew chief this year, he was like, dude, like, this is a year, like, you got out front, you got a lot of fast people behind you, because we need to get your average speed up like 5 mile an hour faster than what it's been the last couple years. So this was the first year I was like, I felt good leaving the line. Like, I felt really good. Like, I was hauling ass. Like, even through the desert, I was going faster than I've ever gone in the past, just because I felt really comfortable in the car finally. I was like, after the qualifying, the whole incident with the roll in the car at the beginning of the week, like, this is the first time I felt amazing like in the car.
Yeah.
Like, it was
game on.
It was 100% game on. Like, doing like 85, 90 through the first like 20 miles of the race. Like, I was clipping through that.
Wow.
And picking off 4,800 cars, and in the first 6 miles, I already was like on the bumper of the 4,500 class car that was in front of me. So technically on corrected time, like, I was ahead of him.
So did you have radio communications with your crew, knowing what position you were in?
I don't normally worry about that.
Yeah, okay.
Like, I have great radio communication with all my pit crew. Like, I call out race miles normally I try to do it every race mile, but normally it happens like every like 3 or 4 race miles, just because you can't really.
You got shit going on.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in the car, but for the most part, I don't normally worry about where I'm at. I just kind of
drive.
I just drive, do my own thing, and it's gonna happen. What's gonna happen is gonna happen out there. So my car, little backstory, my car only has 22 gallons of fuel in it, which with the foam, it's probably more like 20 usable gallons in it. So I have to take fuel every pit, because I only get 60 miles out of a tank, because I get like 3 miles a gallon.
Yeah.
And
it's like a Dodge.
Well, don't go so fast.
It doesn't matter. That thing doesn't matter. No,
slurps fuel.
She's thirsty.
It's like a big gulp.
yeah. She's a super thirsty motor, which is good. It's making power, and so I have to take fuel every single pit stop. So that's pit 1 the first time, which is like 14 and a half miles, and then have to take fuel the next time around, which is at like race mile 70 something, which it's pushing it to get there. And so I was on the rear bumper of the 4500 class car going into the pits, take fuel really quick, like haul ass out. Like he already, the 4500 class, he didn't have to stop. So it was John Matthews, by the way. I don't know if you know who that is. Yeah. So John, I was on his bumper going into the pit. They let me I was stoked. I was telling my pit crew, I'm like, hurry up with fuel. Like, I got to get back. I got to get back on.
I got him in my sights.
It's the first time I've ever been like up front like this and like running as fast as I was. And I'm like, I feel great. Like, I can't let him get too far away, because if I keep up with him and I'm on his bumper, I'm in front of him, and I'm technically, depending on where everyone else is at behind me, like, I'd be leading the race on corrected time in the 4500 class.
Right, because it's a timed race.
Yes.
The listeners aren't aware of that.
Right.
So,
Yeah, so as soon as get fuel the first time, haul ass out, like within the next like 5 miles, I'm on his rear bumper again. I just couldn't get around him. There's no like every time I go to get out, the whoops would be way bigger than where I was at. And I was still able to pace him in the big stuff. I just couldn't get that enough speed to get around him. So whatever, we follow each other going into Cougar Buttes. Like we rail through Cougar Buttes, no problem. And then that was one spot I didn't pre-run. So I normally like being up front how I was like in qualifying actually made it nice because I know that the people I'm going into Cougar Buttes with have already pre-ran it. So I just follow behind them.
Well, that's a good strategy.
I do that a lot too. And because I run a single seat car, like having to navigate GPS for myself, it's kind of a lot sometimes that I'll pace behind another car that I know is pretty fast and like I'll eat their dust just so I don't have to navigate, and it actually is faster for me.
Sure.
Just being able to concentrate on driving versus navigating.
As long as they're not lost, you're not lost.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So I did that all through Cougar Buttes and get like 10 miles outside of Cougar Buttes, and all of a sudden, like my car just like loses all steering. I'm like, what the hell just happened? I'm like,
really?
I'm like, what the hell? Like, I don't.
You're not full hydro. You've got a mechanical box.
Yeah, and like
and hydro assist.
It just gets like super stiff. I'm like, oh shit. So I'm like, I pull over, get it up in this hill, and I have radio in my pit. I'm like, hey, like something's up with the car. I'm getting out right now, which sucked because like I was doing so well.
Yeah, you're right there in the hunt.
So I get out, I'm looking, I'm like, belt came off. Like, that's weird. Whatever, go to put the belt back on and go to hit the tensioner, and the tensioner just like flops around like there's nothing. The spring inside just quit.
ED.
Yeah.
Kicked in.
Yes, exactly. 100% ED kicked in right now. It was not stiff anymore.
He gone.
Yeah. So I'm like, crap. So I was like, crap. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't have a tensioner on the car.
Right.
Like I have like idler pulleys that I keep with me because that's just a random small thing. But
bearings go.
I don't keep a tensioner.
But not the
like,
spring.
Who the hell would think a tensioner would let go? So yeah. So I pull the tensioner off the car. Like it was probably a half mile back. I passed a Legends class car that was, he literally like wadded the front end out of the car. He broke the upper link mount off. I'm like, I'm gonna go see if I can walk over, take the part over. I'm like, hey, do you happen to have this part? See if I can. I'm like, you can't go anywhere. Can I steal it off of your car? And he had the same motor, but he run all car accessory brackets, so the tensioner's completely different than what I run.
Oops.
Damn it.
So I walk back over to my car. I call my pit crew like on the radio and like, hey, like, I don't know what else to do. I said, I have a spare tensioner. It's at main pit. If you can get it from main pit to you guys and then send it on a car
to me
around, we'll make this happen. So my buddy hauls ass. He's got I think you met Cody. He's got a long travel Ram, like 2500 sitting on 37s, like full fiberglass fenders.
He was at the house.
Yeah. He was at the house when we did the last episode. So
we're really outnumbering Jason.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really,
so he jumps in his truck, hauls ass through the whoops across like Boone Road, just missing traffic out in the whoops, like on this full long travel Ram, just boogieing it. So, and he gets to pit one, and then they get the part going in a Legends class car, and when they give it to him, the guy takes off going the wrong direction. And
what?
Like he just takes off like going the wrong way on the course, and then he turns around and goes back. And the pit crew told me this, and they're like, "I think we may have screwed you here.
We picked the wrong carrier here."
They're like, "We think we picked the wrong person to give this to.
We gave it to the United States Postal Service. We should have gave it to UPS."
Yeah.
The guy have eyes going in two different directions.
I don't really know what happened there, but so
looks good to me, sir.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there like waiting, and like nothing's happening, and I'm on the phone with one of the pit crew guys. He goes, "Dude, is there any way you can get that old tensioner back on there and just somehow get that thing tight?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know. I can give it a shot. I said, I got a rat strap. I'll figure something out.
Maybe.
So like at this point, I lost an hour and a half of just sitting there waiting, and I watched every 4500 class car go by, every 4800 class car go by.
Kevin Jones saw you.
Yeah.
Because he mentioned it in the podcast, and he goes, "Hey, there's this guy up on the hill, like waving," and he thought, "Oh yeah, just this fan," and then he goes, "Oh, that's Justin that needs
parts,
belt tensioner in his hand."
Yeah, that's me. That was me.
That was him.
I'm that guy. But yeah, I literally watched every single car go by me, and every a lot of stock class cars go by. I'm like, if I get going, I'm going to have my work cut out for me.
Was the drone hovering in front of your face, though?
Luckily, no.
Oh, good.
I was in a spot. I was in such a spot where I barely had radio service. We were so far out on the course, which is great because I don't like being broke down sucks, especially when you're on camera. Being broke down, you always look so depressed and defeated. It just sucks.
Well, that's what I was saying. I mean, I was watching it on TV at home on Friday.
Yeah.
Or I was actually at work. And just my comment to when we interviewed, whoever the last interview was with, I can't remember right now, but is the drones were just going right down in front of people's faces, especially in Cougar Buttes.
Yep.
The drones just like, here we are. And I'm like, wow, how distracting has that got to be to be standing there trying to, pull winch cable or something
with a drone
like that.
in your face. just like smack it away from you. Like, get away from me.
Mosquito. Yeah. I mean, then out on Means dry lake bed, when you're way out there, right? And there was a car that had a flat tire, and the drone at one point just actually landed on the lake bed, and they had the camera aimed at him. And I'd be like, if I was a driver in Code Dog, I'd be like,
what is this thing right now? That's so funny.
I mean, it's just interesting to see how the technology regarding the coverage of the race is really evolved.
It's incredible what they've been able to accomplish now. Especially this year was different though with the whole COVID aspect of everything. The amount of coverage they had and the pay-per-view aspect of being at home. From what I heard, it was amazing. So, kudos to Dave Cole and the whole Ultra Force staff for being able to make that all happen.
We had a live stream in the camp.
Right.
We had a big screen in there, so we were able to watch that, and it was that's so fun.
Yeah.
Just being on the lake bed, watching the race live on the live feed, and then bumping out like we did out to certain areas and watch live.
Yeah. Well, and that's the other part of the evolution of Ultra 4 racing, both EMC and the big dog race on Saturday at 4,400 is I'd never experienced it. The first year I went out there, I went with Jason wasn't in that trip, and we're like, hey, we're going to head out to Turkey Claw and we're going to watch the race from there. And we jumped in our friend's Jeep, and four of us were out there bopping along, and we got way out into the middle of nowhere, and we hit.
It wasn't Turkey Claw.
No, they've never ran.
Spooners.
Yeah,
Spooners. They were going to Spooners.
Yeah,
Spooners.
I know what you meant.
Anyway, but we got to this border, and the guy's like, where are you going? I was like, well, we're going to go. It's like, no, you can't go out there anymore.
You can't go there.
Yeah.
So they had basically closed off most of the course that year. I think it was 2017.
Yeah, there's only 3 major spectator areas, roughly, 3 or 4 of them.
But back in the day, you could go anywhere.
Yeah, when it first started, you could line the canyons with people. I remember seeing videos of people over on Sledgehammer, while the cars were driving the plaque line, and they're literally in the trail, in the bottom of the trail, while these cars are running.
People that roll over and stuff,
Yeah, which you could back in the day you could do that, but now. It's a huge liability issue if you think about it.
As the crowds have grown bigger and bigger, so I mean,
exactly.
You look at some old YouTube videos of King of the Hammers, and there's freaking 100 people at back door watching the race, and now it's 1 million.
Yeah, exactly.
It's insane.
100,000 people.
The jackassery that's going on.
It's a little exaggerated, but yeah.
But yeah. So you're broken down. You're waiting for your parts.
So I was waiting for the part, and I was on. I always keep my cell phone in my car with me too, because there's some places where you have cell phone service, but you don't have radio contact. So it's a good way to stay on top of being able to talk to your pit crew or something. And this year, I was talking to one of my guys from Washington. I have more or less pit crew from Missouri, Washington, Oregon, more or less all across the United States that come out and help out. And then
that's cool.
It sucked this year. My mates from Australia weren't able to fly out. The last 2 years, I've had 7 or 8 Aussies come out and help out too, which has been pretty crucial. So that was
hard. They bring Vegemite with them?
No, they don't bring Vegemite. They do bring
I got some here if you want some.
No, they do bring Bundy Red though.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, I do. Nice. I normally get a bottle or 2 from them every time they come over.
Good.
Which I'm out, and Chris, if you're listening, I would like some.
send some olive oil.
Well, this is our connection though. Next year we bring in a bottle of Old Elk, and if they could figure out a way to get that to our friends that are listeners.
Right.
Oh, I can make that happen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, just let me know. We'll figure it out.
We got connections.
Yeah.
Oh, I know, but I mean, they can carry the bottle back with them when they fly home.
Yeah.
Right?
All they got to do is put it in their checked bag in a time.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Be so good.
We'll make this happen.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. back to race car.
Rabbit hole.
Yeah. So I was broke down. Tensioner was on the phone with my pit crew guy. He's like, dude, is there any way you can get this thing tight? And I'm like, I'll give it a shot. I have a ratchet strap. I'll see what I can do. I put the belt back on, put the tensioner back into place, kind of pulled it up and wrapped a ratchet strap around like the bottom part of the tensioner
Right.
part, and I went to the chassis and I just sat there,
Gave it a
cranked
few
on
clicks.
it. Oh, I gave it a lot more than a few. Like, this thing was going to be
breaker bar
tight.
on
Like it was 100% going to be
Wow.
tight. And I like fired the car up and I went over and it didn't spit the belt off. I'm like,
Oh,
I think
we
we're
might-
in
we
I think
might
we're
be
in business.
good.
I think we're in business here.
Oh shit!
Drop the hood, like suit up, and I check out. I'm like, if this thing's going to come apart, it's going to come apart. If me doing 20 mile an hour
Yeah,
or me doing 80,
right.
like
It's
I'm
like-
going to go 80 as fast
You
as
got
I
nothing to
can.
lose.
Yeah. So I get all the way to pit one, make it there, take fuel. I'm like, hey, do you guys got a spare part? Do you got a spare part? Like, well, no, we didn't get it back. I'm like, well, crap. So
Jeez.
luckily, my buddy Cody, he was already going to Napa in town in Lucerne. Went to
Okay.
Napa, bought one.
Wow.
And he had to beat me from Napa to the main pit, which
Only in a Ram,
So
baby.
you ran from,
I
from
ran- I
pit
ran-
1 to main pit with a ratchet strap.
It's like 20 miles before pit one.
Jesus.
I literally 20 miles before pit one is when I broke down. I got it like jerry rigged back together. Get to pit one, take fuel, and I haul ass.
And the
towards-
ratchet strap held.
ratchet strap held.
I mean, how much horsepower and torque is your motor putting out? I mean, there's a tremendous amount of tension.
It's a 600 horse LS motor.
yeah.
Like,
This isn't a fucking Hyundai.
so just wait. It gets better.
Oh, okay.
We get.
Oh, wait,
to,
there's more.
Yeah. So it was a ratchet strap off my tool bag. So I'm like, my tool bag's like is underneath my legs, up against my
shit.
seat. So I'm like holding it with one leg, trying to like 1 foot drive, and I couldn't do it. So I just grabbed the handle and like held it, and I was back to 2 foot drive. But then I only had one handed steering wheel. But like whatever, I got to do what I got to do. So I did that all the way to main pit, and
Jesus.
I get to main pit, and like my buddy Cody apparently made it to camp or made it back to main
Yeah.
pit where I was pitting at the big Falcon semi,
Uh-huh.
and he made it there like 30 to 45 seconds before I rolled in.
You got to be kidding me right there.
Dead
Look at-
serious.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is perfect. Yeah. He 100% was a savior. Like he was the MVP of it all for like getting me
That's
the part.
awesome.
So get there. Like I shut the car off. They give it a good once over already, like put fuel in it. And once they got done giving fuel, that's when they started working on the car. And, I'm like, hey, I want that ratchet strap back. And they're like, the ratchet strap's not there. I'm like, no, it's there. I zip tied it to the car. Like, there was no way the ratchet strap was going to come off because I literally zip tied it all to the car.
Wow.
Apparently, the ratchet strap came off, and I had no idea when it came off.
But it was holding, the belt was
holding. It had to have just come off, like,
So this
literally
had-
coming down the rock
This
section.
had to be a decent quality ratchet strap and not a
No, it was
Harbor
100% a Harbor Freight ratchet
Oh, it was a
strap.
Harbor
I
Freight
know- yeah.
orange?
Yeah,
Orange?
yes,
You
Harbor
gotta
Freight
be
orange.
shitting me. That stuff's
No.
like paper thin.
I know. I don't know how it held up.
How the
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But it held up, and like I said, I get to like I want the ratchet strap back.
Yeah,
I'm like,
you want to hang that in the garage.
Well, no, it was
right.
like if this happens again, I need to do this. Like I don't know what's happening.
Sure.
Tension's like at least I know a fix for it now, and it got me this far. Like I can obviously go quite a ways
Yeah.
on it. And they're like, no, the ratchet strap's gone. We have
She
no
gone.
idea where it's at. And
just like Lorenzo.
yeah, so
Maybe Lorenzo has the ratchet strap.
Wouldn't that be great?
he might, right?
He comes back with the ratchet strap on him.
Jesus.
Orange ratchet strap.
Holding his backpack on. Saddlebags.
Right?
Empty bottle old elk strapped
Yeah,
to the
exactly.
ratchet strap.
Hasn't shaved in 4 months.
Yeah. So
All right.
we put the new tensioner on, or my pit crew put a new tensioner on, put a new belt on it. I took the old belt. So I had a spare belt on the car that was brand new. They put that one on it, then taped another brand new spare on it, and then I took the old one and put it in my tool bag right
Okay.
next to me.
Perfect.
And then I'm like, I asked them what place I was in my class. They're like, you're like 19th, 20th. Like,
Wow.
you're ways back. I'm like, well, shit.
Yeah.
Like, I guess I'm salvaging a win or a finish at this point.
yeah.
And I said, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to run the car as hard as I can and try to make up as many positions as I can and get it back up front. And I just, after that, I haul ass, take off. And the first trail was Spooners. That's when I got into it with a couple stock class cars that they were stopped along the road. There was like there was a line around them. So I started taking it. And the one guy drove up on my rig, wasn't super happy with me, but he had no belts, no nothing on. And I just,
Right.
like, I had every right to pass him. So I went through past him, went through the spot, got through all that, got through Spooners. And I'm like looking down, I'm like, my trans temp is like cooking right now.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like looking up, I'm like hitting the circuit breaker. Circuit breaker's not wanting to stay pushed in.
Boy.
For the fans?
Yeah. For my transmission fan. The motors was fine. It was a transmission fan. So I noticed this halfway through Spooners. So I'm driving, holding the circuit breaker in.
It's keeping it going?
As long as the circuit breaker's in, the fan's going.
Oh, jeez.
Wow.
But it would still like, it would be like intermittent. Like I'd hold it in there and I can hear the fan because it's pretty loud, and it would intermittently come on and off. So I ran the trans at like 230, 240, all the way through Spooners, all the way through outer limits. I get to pit 2 the first time. You can cut over and you have to cut, then you have to cut all the way back to course. But so I get to pit 2. I told him like, hey, I need something. Like you got to hardwire this in, or like give me a new circuit breaker. And the guy, my crew chief AJ, he handed me a 30 amp. I'm like, no, give me the 40 amp.
We need the big dog.
So I've been running a 30 amp and it's been fine. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Like, screw this 30 amp. I'm going for, like, give me the 40 amp. Like, we're putting the 40 amp in it. So he hands me all the stuff before they start fueling, so I could work on doing that while they're taking fuel, because I'm still
you're in the car, you're in your fire suit.
I still have helmet,
you're legit.
all that. Yeah, so I can
because
still,
of the new rules this year. Nobody
Exactly.
can work on the car while it's being fueled.
Yeah.
Right.
So they handed me all the stuff so I could get to work on the car.
Great.
So I got the car, I got it all back together. Boom, fan kicked on, cool, took fuel, quick pit stop, hauled ass back out, and went and just started clipping through trails. And then I clipped through Chocolate Thunder. I think I was in and out of Chocolate Thunder in like 45 seconds. If you want, like, there's videos of me doing it, and people were like, "How the hell did you get through that fast?" I'm like,
I would just hammer down. We're on a mission.
I'm like, I'm trying to make up places.
This is a race.
I'm trying to catch. I'm trying to catch people right now. Like, I don't know what to tell you. So get through all that. Get up in the jackhammer, and I'm like, as I'm cruising up jackhammer, I'm already caught. I think it was Sean Rance. Like, he was just in front of me. I'm like, all right, I know Sean Rance is he's normally up towards the front, so I know I'm doing all right. I think I was back up into like 9th or 10th at this point.
Wow.
And I'm following Sean all the way through the first bit of jackhammer. We get up to the main waterfall. There's like 6 cars stopped. They're all on that bypass line, and I remember I went back and pre-ran the middle line. I think it was like Tuesday or Wednesday, and it completely changed from when I pre-ran it on that Friday or that Saturday. So, like, I couldn't even drive it anymore. So the main line was at the big bypass where I wasted the passenger side or the driver's side of my trail rig at. But the big rock that I was hitting on was pushed out of the way, so it was a cakewalk now, which I was kind of hoping that would have happened by the time I got to there, that it would just be a nice cakewalk around. But when you make that left-hand turn around the big rock at the top, there's like a little boulder field in there. There's a couple guys that are like broken. They're trying to recover. I think Winch Mob was out there. They were doing their Winch Mob thing, trying to get
Winch Mob,
trying to get everybody out of the way. And
badass.
so Sean tries to go up the middle line, the regular, like, just to try to get in front of these like 6 cars that are in the bypass line. I'm like waiting. I'm looking over at that bypass line. There's one car that's stuck there, and the co-driver's out. And I'm like honking my horn. I'm like, "Hey, dude, let me winch you. I'll winch you back so you can get going." And like, I was sitting there. I was going to be sitting there doing nothing anyway. Let me at least help you get out of the way.
Let's help the situation. Yeah.
Let me
help me help you.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. If you get out of the way and I winch you back, and then you make it up you choose a different line, you make it up, and then I can go.
Sure.
And now I'm in front of Sean Rance again.
Yeah.
Because he's still messing around with the middle line.
Wow.
So
Okay.
get winch the guy back. I drive up, and once I get up farther, I notice there's like 4,500 cars in front of me. I'm like, I caught the group.
There you go.
Here we are.
I caught a good group, a good bunch of the group, and I still had to get out in front of them to beat them on corrected time still, because they started behind me.
Okay.
Right.
So we get through jackhammer, through the little clusterfuck that was going on through there, and get around. It's kind of this. It opens up the backside of jackhammer. Opens up to this like kind of little desert with like a single track trail up the top. There's one Legends car, then there's another guy in front of him, and then there's like the whole like 6 car lineup of just people stacked back to back, like bumper to bumper. And like I roll up on them, I look up the single track, and these guys are just sitting at the bottom of the hill waiting for this guy to get pulling backwards.
Oh,
and I'm
boy.
like, I ain't waiting around.
No,
So
no.
like, I just pass everyone, get up to that guy that's helping winch, and I'm like, I'm waiting up here. Like, I'll wait for you, but I'm not going to wait like in a 7-car pileup for no reason.
Right.
Like, we're racing on it. It's not like a trail wheel.
Yeah,
like,
we're
we're
not
trail wheel. Like, I'll mind my own spot. But
it's not like a Toyota Trail tampon out there on the Rubicon. It's like,
like we're on a live race course.
Yeah.
We're racing here. Like my goal is to get in front of you and put distance between you and I.
Yeah.
So I get around them, get up to that guy that's moving him backwards. Like, so they got him out of the way. And once they got him out of the way, I kept going straight through. And I knew I had to put a lot of time between me and them. So I was pushing my car pretty damn hard. So I get all the way back to pit 2 the last time. Take fuel, quick look over the cars, a couple things, a couple jam nuts on the links came loose, but I paint mark everything so it's pretty evident what comes loose. So take care of that, haul ass out, and I already knew I put a lot of time in between me and them anyway in this like couple miles stretch between when I passed them, that whole group to main pit or to pit 2.
Sure.
So I get out. I think the last trail was highway. We drop into highway 20. Because I did sunbonnet, and I dropped into Highway 20. As soon as I dropped into Highway 20, I would just come in. I dropped this ledge way too fast, and I cut a tire. It was 100% my fault. Like I wouldn't have, like if I was going a little slower and not in my head thinking like I need to make up time. It wouldn't have happened. But I just came in something too hot. I was like locked up on the brakes, and it was just sliding, like locked up, and it just hit it. And as soon as it hit, I knew it happened. I'm like, well, crap, and I can't. And I can't not change a tire. Like I have to change the tire because I still have a lot of other trails to go. But it's not like I'm going to make it back to a pit again. After the last stop at pit 2, I wasn't going to see my pit crew get it till the finish. So I'm like, okay, I have 4 tires on the car now. I got to just like calm down a little bit, but still not slow down. But I just need to be smart about things. So get the tire fixed, continue clipping through. Like no one passed me. Luckily, like no one caught back up to me. And I catch up to 2 more 4,500 class cars, and ended up passing both of them. And I was behind this 2 Legends class cars, and we just get out to, I think it's Emerson. That's the big, the last bit.
Emerson lakebed there,
So we had these cool trackers this year that you could hit like pass or and
so you liked them.
Oh, I loved it. I used that pass button a lot. It was amazing.
It sucked from our end, and I talked about this with Kevin Jones in that we were trying to get updates, and some cars weren't updating, and the yellow brick was like updating a lot from a spectator standpoint. The yellow brick worked better. I know there was timing issues and shit with the yellow brick for racers, but. So this seemed to work out better for the racers. You had more, you had an SOS button. You had this get the hell out of my way button.
It was really awesome because, like, literally, you could roll up on a car. If they were within 600 feet of you, you hit the pass button, and it dings onto, it notifies onto their car, and it lets them, like, boom, like, hey, like, pass. And then they hit, like, the green button and say, okay. And then on mine, I get it flashes, okay.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's cool. Yeah, like, hey, come on through.
So I'm
making it safer.
Yeah, I'm doing this coming down this single track.
I heard Dodges come with those standard, so when people are coming up on you on Highway 80
it's so to pass all the Fords.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we have the button. We hit that and let you know.
Fords that are passing, letting you know to pass you.
Oh, got it. See, no, we don't have that.
That's weak.
We only see Fords in a rearview mirror. That's it. Yeah.
Anyway,
wow.
I'm trying. I'm outnumbered here, guys.
You're doing all right. I'll give you credit. You're doing all right.
I'll keep going too. All right.
But so I'm coming down, coming towards Emerson. I'm like hitting the pass button, like, hey, dude, like I'm trying to get around you, like letting you know, like get moving or like get out of the way.
Right.
And I hit the pass button. The dude jackrabbits me, which is like when you're on somebody's ass and like if you go to hit the horn or something on somebody, they like, oh, we're going to speed up now. So he did that on me, like coming down this little single track trail. I'm like, all right, this is how it's going to go. All right, this is fine.
Game on.
So he jackrabbits me. I'm like, all right, cool. At least it put some distance. So I'm like hammering down and we get into Emerson and I see like he's like see his dust and I just stay hard to the left of him. Foot to the floor, passed him at 108 mile an hour. Woo! I think he was doing like 70-ish, and I passed him at 108, and I'm like, see up in the distance, I'm like, this other Legends class car that I knew was in front of us, and
Let
I'm like,
big dog eat.
I'm literally just like cruising at 108, 110 in the car, and the car it loves that lake bed, like hauling ass like that, and that may not be fast like some of the 4,400 class guys, but like
pretty damn fast.
Over 100 mile an hour on 37s is pretty damn fast.
In an open chassis car.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty damn fast. Like you're like thinking in your head, you're like, am I going to spit a dry shaft down here? Like,
there's a lot of bad things that can happen at that speed.
I just beat the crap out of my car on all these rock trails. Now I'm doing over 100 mile an hour. Like, is a wheel going to fall off? Like, this happens, I'm probably going to die. But like, whatever. Like,
all right. Hit that
fine.
hammer.
It's racing, baby.
Yeah. So I see this Legends class car out in front of me. I'm like, I can pass him. I can catch him. So I'm like letting it eat, doing its thing, and like I'm slowly catching up to him, and we're coming up to the very end of Emerson, where it kind of dives back into like almost like a 2-track where you kind of got to work. It's like big, long, sweeping stuff. And like we're coming into that, and I see him checking up. I'm like, I'm not checking up. So as I get close, I'm like hitting that pass button. And I hit it, and I instantly see him pull over. I'm like, cool, he got it. So I was going through this little like sweeper turns probably way faster than I probably should have, but I was still in the mindset of like, I need to put some distance. I got 20 miles to the finish, and it's all desert. Like, we're okay. Like, I can push the car pretty hard now. And, cook all the way through and pass that car and never looked back. And I crossed the finish line, and they said that I was physically 22nd overall and 4th in class.
Nice.
Yeah. I was like, I couldn't complain about a 4th place finish after the day that I had.
Right.
Like being able to salvage a top 5 finish is...
And you were sitting there twiddling your thumbs for an hour and a half.
And if you look at the times, if you look at like the elapsed time of the race, me to like first place was about an hour and a half.
So I was going to say,
it wasn't that far away.
Hindsight's always 20/20, but it's like, damn it, why didn't I put that ratchet straddle on sooner? You know,
exactly.
But you just don't know.
You wouldn't know.
You're trying to get a part. You're trying to get this thing fixed correctly.
Exactly.
And but
if you look at the time, it was pretty close, or an hour and a half. It would have been. It would have been close. Like, me and the Dan Fresh probably would have been battling.
Damn.
Yeah, it would have been a good race.
But still a great finish, and again finish is a huge accomplishment. Yes. So not to belittle that at all.
No, it was. It's a huge.
We all want number one.
Finishes that race is huge, and like if normally at the beginning of the race, like if you're gonna have a shot at the podium or not, and I legitimately had a shot at it, and then issues happen, then you're like, okay, like mindset needs to change here, and like you got to end up with sponsors and stuff that you have obligations. Like they need my car across finish line. I got to do whatever I can to get that car across finish line.
So how many years have you raced KOH, and how many years have you finished?
I believe 8 years now. I've been racing King of the Hammers, and I believe I finished 5.
Okay, so that's a good track record.
4,
really good.
5. I think 5.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I finished 5 of them.
The
last 2 years, last 3 years have all been top 5 finishes.
Yeah.
The second year I raced my car was a 3rd place finish. 2 years ago was 4th place. This past year is 4th place.
Okay.
So I've been, this new car's been really consistent in that aspect out there. And it's been a really cool learning experience going from having a 2-seat car, what my first car was that I built, to this new one being a single seat car. It's a huge accomplishment. I'm just happy with myself that I was able to do it alone, more or less. Like I'm not alone out there because I got an amazing pit crew that they literally, I couldn't run that race without a pit crew. My guys have, every year they come out with new ideas on how to pit faster, how to take fuel faster, what can we do, blah, blah. Like they got it down to an art. Like I'll put my pit crew up against anyone out there, and I'll say they're probably one of the best and most, like, I don't even know how to describe it.
Diverse.
Like, they're the most diverse guys that have, they literally all come together. I have a guy who's a mechanic for Southwest Airlines. Like he's my crew chief, and he works on airplanes every day for his, but before that he was driving Bigfoot trucks.
Wow.
You know? Then I got guys in Washington, and then I got, like I said, I have Australians that normally come out. I have guys that like are commercial electricians that come out and help me. Like I have a whole broad of people, and everyone comes in and works so well together.
Sure,
like, I couldn't do this race without my pit crew.
So how did that all come together? Just over the years, talking to people.
Honestly, I have no idea.
Really?
It's just
dumb luck.
So
dumb luck.
My crew chief, I can tell you the story behind my crew chief, AJ. This was, I think, like probably 5 years ago. he was co-driving for a guy by the name of Evan. I think Evan Englehart, I think is how you say his last name. He was running UTVs back then, and he was co-driving for UTVs. And I had the transmission out of my race car, my first race car. And I've never rebuilt the transmission before, but I cracked the case, so I had to like pull all my good like 300 mm internals out of one case and put them into the new one. So like.
On the lake bed?
Yeah, this was on the lake bed at like 9 o'clock at night one night. Like I had the whole back of my trailer. I had 2 big tables out. I had 5-gallon bucket with one transmission, 5-gallon bucket with the other one in it, and I just took everything out, was putting it on the table, and then all I do was I'd move the table to the next one, and then like reverse the process. And AJ comes over with a cup in his hand, like, you guys are making a hell of a lot of noise over here. What are you guys doing?
What the hell's going on?
And my dad, he goes, like, do you know anything about transmissions or turbo 350s? And he goes, enough to get myself into trouble. And he goes, all right, we need some help.
You can't handle the torts.
And then, AJ's been probably one of my best friends ever since.
Good.
Yeah. And he's out in Missouri.
That's cool. Yeah. I wonder how many Turbo 350s have been rebuilt on that lake bed, because Andrew, AA MCO, has rebuilt a couple out there. But yeah, one of the guys helping out, Kevin Jones, he unfortunately, his trail rig had some... He had to rebuild that
automatic
thing
transmissions, cleanliness is next to godliness on those things.
Well, there's a lot going on in there. I mean, they're pretty bulletproof, but when it's one little thing out of place, or something going south in there, and you got a lot of metal debris.
The very first year in my old rate, not this new car, my old one, I guess when my old transmission builder was putting the valve body in, a roll pin fell out, and I didn't have second gear because it was for the second gear solenoid or whatever, and when it would click over like it's supposed to, it would shoot out and hit the side of the pan because it wasn't being allowed to stop the solenoid to hold in the second. So I only had first and third, and we had to figure that out on lake bed. And luckily at that time, Randy at Jimmy's 4x4 was pretty up on building transmissions at that time, and we brought him the valve body. He goes, yeah, this is what's going on. So, we didn't have a roll pin, so we found a drill bit that fit in there, stuck it in there, cut it off.
How perfect is that?
And that was in the car for like 2 years.
Wow.
That roll pin. Yeah. So and then the rebuilt transmit, or the one that I took all the stuff out and put in, ran for another like year after that. But luckily now I have Scott over at Nixon Transmission out of Jackson. Like I haven't had a transmission issue, and I ran the thing at like 250 degrees. Yeah, I ran it at 250 degrees at Hammers, like for a good couple bit.
What did that oil look like?
I haven't pulled it out. I'm pulling.
Checked it.
Yeah, you run synthetic, or is it?
Yeah, it's all. I run all Lucas oil, like they're semi synthetic stuff. It's like a Sure Shift transmission fluid that it's just transmission fluid I've always ran in the car. So like I can't complain about it. I've burnt 2 transmissions, like ran them pretty hot, and the fluid still looks fine.
Wow.
I'm not like, I'm going to drop the fluid out of it just because I know I ran it hot.
Sure.
But I guarantee it'll look fine. Yeah. Like I'm not sponsored by Lucas.
I like Lucas products.
That's just what I've always ran in that.
Jeep. Yeah. The buggy. Yeah.
Yeah. And with Scott building my transmission now, I'm not scared of hurting that thing. He's done some cool things with that Turbo 350, and the next one, once I get some extra cash to buy the whole like baller Reed case. I don't think it's Reed who's making the Turbo 350 version. Like how Reed has their Turbo 400.
Yeah, exactly.
There's someone, I don't remember what company it is, but they're coming out with a Turbo 350 case, or it's actually out already. But we're going to do like a full roller setup inside a transmission, probably free up like 10-15% more horsepower out of that. It's going to be pretty wicked.
Great.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. We're bringing Turbo 350s back into Ultra 4 because no one likes to run them anymore.
Turbo 350s great again.
Yeah.
What a lot of guys are running, the 480?
Well, a lot of guys are running Turbo 400s or the 4L80Es.
Yeah.
Or like some guys are running the 4L60s too.
Yeah.
It's very few that run Turbo 350s.
But those have always been a bulletproof tranny,
Yeah, they're good for a certain amount of horsepower. Yeah. Once you get a certain aspect of it, like you can't.
Sure.
Like I have full 300M input output shafts in it, like 36 tooth second gear sprag in mine. My drum spin machined a bit to fit like 2 or 3 extra clutches in it. Like Scott's done some really trick stuff to that transmission to make it last as well as it has. Yeah. And the next thing is doing the whole full roller setup on this other transmission. That will be able to free up a lot more horsepower, and it can withstand the power too.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Right on. Right on.
Yeah.
I gotta ask.
Uh-oh.
So moving forward, are you going to carry a
Yes.
idler
Yes.
pulley
Tensioner? Yes.
Yes.
There's going to be one mounted on the car.
There you go.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Wire tied on or whatever.
So
yeah.
I normally, whenever I put something on the car, I always try to have like a dedicated mount for it, but it needs to be removable because when it comes to race short course, all that stuff comes off the car. My car gets stripped to like nothing for a short course race because I want it to be as light as it can.
Sure.
So everything's got to be like super like lightweight, and I'm really picky about things being lightweight on my car anyway, so I don't really carry that many spares. I really only carry like rod ends, like enough rod ends for one link, enough rod ends for one tie rod because they're different, and then so my tie rod and the upper links share the same rod end, so I only carry one set. Same with the lower links, only one set.
Okay.
Then like one idler pulley and a spare drive shaft. That's all I carry on my car, and tools to fix that, and a spare tire. Yes.
Yeah.
Now, how long did it take you to change out that spare when you
Honestly,
popped
a
it?
lot faster than I thought. It only took me like 10 minutes to do.
Wow.
And what do you use for a jack?
Just an old school high lift jack.
The high lift?
Yeah.
Okay, you do have the high lift, yeah.
Yeah, I just throw
Some
it on.
guys are using scissor jacks and stuff. I'm just kind of curious.
No, I like high lifts because
Yeah.
they're so multi-purpose.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like you can use them for everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love it. I've always ran a high lift jack, and I've gotten myself out of some interesting situations.
They're heavy, but super versatile.
Yes, I've rolled a car back over with one.
Wow.
Yeah, like if you do it right, there's plenty of ways that you can
Self-recover.
Yeah, self-recover with
Right.
it if you can't. Like you use your winch, but then you also need a little bit extra, and like there's all kinds of stuff you can use a high lift for.
Right on.
It's interesting, and that's one of the cool things. I love walking through the pits and looking at race cars, all different classes, of seeing the spare parts and how they mount them to their car. You know, you usually see a new hydraulic pump for power steering, on the car. Of course, belts are tie wrapped on. There's tie wrapped on the
Yes,
car.
I have those. Yeah, I have zip ties.
There's people that duct tape a bunch of rolls.
I never liked doing
so they got that.
I never liked doing that. I don't know. Like I carry electrical tape, but I've never I have done the duct tape wrap, but it never works out when you need to get it off.
Right.
It never wants to come off.
Yeah,
well, so
and
it's
then
like
it's peeling off, it's stripping it. Yeah,
and then it just leaves that weird residue on that
Sure.
spot of the chassis, and then it just looks weird because you have like a little silver wrap of it. Just I don't know.
But it is interesting to see how people put spare, stuff on the. And I've particularly paid attention to this the last couple of years because having my buggy and I have zero fucking storage space.
You need to look at my car where I keep my tool bag, my winch rope, my tow strap, my impact gun. You should see where all that stuff's
and that's the other thing with the impact gun. I've seen guys that have it, in between some rails on the side, either on the driver's side or passenger side, and they just run it out.
Yeah,
with
they have like
a bolt in there, and it's got the nut welded to the frame, so it locks itself in.
My only worry about that is I've seen people lose batteries that way. So I've seen guys start hose clamping batteries. Batteries will vibrate and come off. Yeah, or they tape the batteries into place.
Those cars are getting beat. But in a
There's
trail
vibration
buggy
out there? There's no vibration.
trail buggy would be fine.
Oh
but
yeah, that would probably be fine. Yeah.
So I've been looking at stuff like that. Anyways, it's just super fun and cool to see some of the shit
all kinds
people
of cool
comes up
stuff.
with.
Yeah.
Would you say, this is kind of just having said that, would you say that you can kind of see the less experienced rookie drivers have more of that stuff bolted to their chassis than the more experienced guys? It's like,
no,
never going to use that. Why would I carry it?
No, it all comes down to personal preference.
Okay.
Like I keep what I want in the car that I know that is going to be important that I couldn't keep going if I didn't have.
Yeah.
If you shit a rod end, and you need to replace a rod end or a bolt, those are pretty big things that you need to keep.
Sure.
Steering pump, I can get by without a steering pump because I have a steering box still, and I can
mechanical.
Right.
I can force it around. Is it going to be easy? No, but I can get myself back to pit that way.
Right.
Well, you're used to driving a Dodge, so it's no big deal there.
Oh, here we go.
Again? Really?
Remind me when your Ford's sitting on 37s and doing things cool.
Wow.
It's like driving a school bus.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure my Dodge has better turning radius than your Ford.
I don't know. We should do a turn off.
We should do that.
Turn off, turn on? I don't know. All right.
Is this when we use the safe word?
Yeah, this is it. It's the safe word. Pineapple.
Pineapples.
Well, that's very cool, man. Thanks for telling us all about the race. That was awesome.
Yeah.
I wish
What
I
a
was there.
story, man. And this, again, we've told, Amber's story, Kevin Jones' story, now your story, EVE, Kyle's story. It's just...
And not a single one of them are the same.
No.
That's what's cool about it.
It's adversity. Everybody faces some adversity out there in the desert, and it's how you overcome that, how you got parts. I mean, you heard about Kyle last week getting a fucking random part that he was running out to another car that he needed that worked out for both parties. But anyways, it's super entertaining to hear this stuff, and glad your day worked out, and you finished well.
Thank
That
you.
hour and a half could have, you probably beat yourself over that, but you
I
couldn't
definitely
have prevented
did, but
it.
there's nothing I could do
There's
about it.
nothing you could do about it.
And
It's
the whole, you got to not quit.
Yeah,
I know a lot of
right.
people that something would happen like that and they would just give up. And it's like, I'm not here to give up. I'm here to it's like they give me 8 hours to be on course. I want to use every bit of 8 hours to get my car going.
to try and get it across the finish line.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm just happy I didn't have to do anything at night.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
kidding.
Like I have enough lights on my car that if I need to, I'll be fine, but I don't like to drive at night.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
Yeah.
Now, I know EMC, you guys didn't have to run it in King's Graveyard. Did you
No.
go out there and look at it?
I wanted to. I didn't get to. No, I wanted to take my trail rig out to it, but
It was crazy.
it was pretty crazy. Yeah.
I walked it
Yeah.
up and down.
Did
From
you
the
really?
bottom, I started from the bottom, and then now we're here.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
went all the way to the top. I walked to the top and turned around and went down, and it was insane. And there was a lot of other 4,800 car racers out there, or I should say 4,400 car racers that were out looking at it, and trying to pick lines. And they're definitely, I mean, it wasn't like impossible, obviously, because people made it through there, but it made you think about how you're going to do this, and definitely you had to send it off some of these areas.
Oh yeah, I bet you did. Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw pictures of it and everything.
There's
it looked
some
pretty legit.
monster fucking
Yeah.
rocks in there, and then of course the rocks move just like any of these rock trails. It's just
Exactly.
rocks on rocks, and so that thing just changed with every car going through.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But
it looked super
I would have
narrow,
loved
too.
to seen the Campbells go through. They took all the panels off their car.
Oh, yeah, right.
And they went and ran it. And we saw them head out of Hammertown and go there, and I was like, damn it, that would have been fun to go watch.
Yeah, to go
them
just shortcut straight
Yep.
over to
Yep.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways, well, heck yeah, man, great race. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
That's again just a finish and doing this for 8 years and.
You learn quite a few things
you do.
along the way.
You do.
You learn what works, what doesn't work, and once you start finishing the race consistently, you start realizing what it takes to be up front and to win it. You can't expect to go out there your first year and go out and win the race. Some people get really lucky and are able to do that, but it doesn't normally work that way. It takes a lot of years and a lot of money to spend and a lot of hard work and just
a lot of prep.
And honestly, if you can get out there,
race prep.
Yeah.
if you can get out there before King of the Hammers and actually get out there like over just some random weekend,
Thanksgiving, and then that's a big.
I was out
weekend.
over Thanksgiving running the previous year's race course and just logging miles in it and trying to get the car, like just spend some time in it and figure the place out, because that's the hardest thing, is figuring that place out. Like I've been going there enough times now, and over the last 8 years, that you put me in any one of these trails, I can tell you where I'm at and where the trail goes.
Sure.
But the first 2-3 years of doing it, like you're completely lost. You're so turned around.
Yeah.
Well, one of the comments that was made from one of our other interviews was that the wreck wheeling that's been going on out there, especially during COVID.
Talked about that with Levi.
You're right.
And Shear and Cole.
Right. Well, the impact it's had on all the trails.
Oh,
out
yeah.
there, especially
huge.
during race week.
Oh, yeah. The amount of people that were out there, like Chocolate Thunder changed. I ran Chocolate Thunder probably every night just because it's the thing to do out there on my trail rig.
It's close.
It's close. It's easy to get to, and there's normally a giant shit show there, and it's great to go watch it.
Sure.
But I ran like every time I went through it, it was a completely different line you had to take. Like
then that one big rock moved before race day, got,
and then
got pushed out of the way.
then up idle issues. Like I pre-ran idle issues. Like I'd go run Shockathon, come back around, and then just drive up idle issues, and that changed like 3 different times.
Idle
too.
issues is no joke, man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like off camber hillside, right?
But see, like what's funny, idle issues. I don't think it's that hard of a trail. I think it's more. It looks deceiving because when you're in the car, you're like pointed straight up a mountain, and it does have some off camber stuff, but like for the most part, it wasn't as hard as I remember when I was pre-running it.
Okay.
During the race, it seemed super easy. Yeah.
the line was burned in.
Yeah, I think it was just burned in. Yeah.
Bunch of Fords made it up ahead of you. That's why. That's
probably what it is. Yeah.
I know. Just saying.
Yeah.
He's just lobbing them out there.
Right.
I'm trying. I need my. Where's my
throwing
Ford
at
fans
whatever?
at?
He's just hoping something
Where's my
sinks
Ford
in.
fans?
He's hoping he hits something here. Swinging at everything. He's swinging for the fences at this point.
Man. I got 8 hours. I'm just trying to finish, Justin. Just trying to finish.
I want to give a huge shout out to some people.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's make it happen.
First off, I want to give a huge shout out to Falcon Tire. They jumped on board as a title sponsor this year, and they were awesome down at Hammers. The pit support they gave me for having that main pit. Like, we had full access to their semi that was decked out with just about every tool
That
you
thing
could
was
think
bad.
of.
I saw that. I walked in there.
Yeah.
Like that thing was badass.
Yeah, it was an awesome setup. The guys at Falcon, like, I couldn't say anything but great. I couldn't say but great things about them. They're amazing, and I'm really happy to be back on board with them. It's been
cool.
8 years. It just a time hop thing just popped up on my like Facebook memories of the last time I was with Falcon. It was 8 years ago in my old single seat rock crawler.
Yeah, and you brought the old race suit out.
I did.
Brought it back.
It still fits. It still fits. After like 8 years.
That's another good accomplishment right there.
After 8 years, my Falcon fire suit still fits. So, and like, yeah, I love that thing. It's one of the nicest fire suits I've owned.
Yeah.
It's a like full Sparco, like custom made, custom fit fire suit. So it's a beautiful fire suit.
Yeah.
The chicks dig it.
I think so.
Heck yeah.
I don't know. I never got told if they do or not. If anyone's out there listening, let me know.
What's your Instagram?
Which one? There's 3 of them.
Hit up Justin. Hit up Rock Hard Racing.
Rock Hard Racing. Then there's Justin 13.
Yeah.
And then 13 Fabrication.
13
There's 3 of them.
All right,
You have your
ladies,
options.
ladies, let them know.
All the ladies
Oh boy.
or guys, if whatever.
Yeah. So like I said, huge shout out to the boys at Falcon Tire.
That's cool.
Rough Stuff Specialties, they've been with me for
Rough Stuff,
12,
yes.
14 years, something like that. Like, they've been with me for a long time, and I run all their rod ends on the car. I run their axle housings. Like, they're a lot of stuff on my car is Rough Stuff, all the tube couplers, stuff like that. It's the amount of like fabrication parts they have are huge. And
they were missed on the lakebed this year.
They were like, when I found out about that, I called them and like, this is extremely sad. I understand why they had to do it, but it still was extremely sad that they weren't there, because the service they do for people out there is incredible.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Then Josh West with CBM Motors.
Oh yeah.
Hashtag proper tuning. Like he's the only guy that's touched that motor. He's the one who built the motor. We've dynoed it. We've like do remote tuning with him, and he was on a lake bed, and he's an awesome dude, and like he probably the guy to go to for engine tuning in Ultra 4. He's got these cars figured out and how to tune them and how to dial them in. It's incredible what he does, and he does like he works at CBM Motors now, so he's doing sand rails, custom like street cars, all these different cars now. So you get a chance to go down there and see him for some engine tuning on pretty much anything.
You tripped me out when the last time we talked to you about how he was tuning your car with like Wi-Fi or something.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just like it's just like the tech guys. How like oh, we're gonna do remote access to your computer. Yeah, he just
the computer's hooked up to the car, and they tune into
and then
that,
I just use my hotspot on my phone, and he just wirelessly.
Modern times, baby.
It's
Technology.
Awesome. It's great. Like I couldn't ask for anything better. It's so handy having a guy like that I can call and like, hey man, I'm having some issues. What do you think?
Yeah.
And 9 times out of the 10, it's something I did. It's nothing like it's never a tune problem. Everyone's like, oh, the tune's wrong, this and that. Like, the tune didn't change, and the last time you drove the car, you probably got a spark plug wire that's melted and you're just not seeing it, or a spark plug that's fouled or something. And it's always something stupid like that. And Josh, he gets so annoyed when, like, I know people call him like, oh, your tune's failed, and it's like, no, it wasn't tuned. You're just an idiot, and you're just an idiot. I've been that guy. I've been like, dude, like, something's going on. I don't know what the hell's going on, and it was just me being a dumbass, and I had something unhooked or hooked up wrong. So,
well, that's the guy's confident in his work.
And he's literally the best. It's the same, like, Shock Jesus Phil at Liberty Mountain Fab in my shock tune. I won't let anyone else touch my shocks. Just like I won't let anyone else touch my motor. And that's Josh will be the only guy that touches my motor, and Phil's going to be the only guy that touches the shocks in my car and any car in the future that I build.
Right on.
Excellent.
Yeah. Shout out to I already mentioned Scott over at Nixon Transmission, but Scott, builds an awesome transmission. He's built a lot
Jackson, California.
Yep, he builds a lot of transmissions for a lot of other Ultra 4 cars as well.
Okay.
Ethos Vision, they're my sunglass sponsor. The guys out of Brentwood area.
We reached out to them.
Yeah.
Chris did.
Yeah, I did.
Because they're right there in Disco Bay, right by where
Brentwood, but
Brentwood, Disco Bay area. Yeah.
And they hooked us up with some clear goggles for KOH, which was sweet.
Their goggles are pretty sweet.
They're
aren't
nice.
They? Yeah. I have a blue set that are tinted lenses. Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I love those things.
So, Ethos was great.
Yeah.
Give them a few shout outs and stuff.
Heck yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Ethos. Huge shout out to the Speed Company, Southway Driveline, Steve.
Oh, good old Steve down there.
All the stripper glitter drive shafts.
Unicorn stripper glitter shaft.
Yeah.
Somebody sent him a drive shaft with a pecker on it.
Yeah.
Pecker?
Yeah.
Did you not see that picture on the ground?
Yeah.
I did see it.
Yeah.
It was just like...
He probably returned it with a giant sticker of one on there anyway.
I guarantee that thing was doctored up. I couldn't... Sick sense of humor Steve has. Love it.
Then a huge shout out to Stan Haynes at Brannick Motorsports.
Brannick.
I've been running their axle shafts in my car with zero issues in 3-4 years now in this new car. They're 35 spline 300M Legacy Series shafts.
Can't kill them.
Yeah, I know people that are blowing 35 spline shafts up, and I can't kill them with my motor. And like if I ever have had an issue, Stan's always been great and like super easy to work with. I can call him about anything, and he's another one of those guys that I probably won't ever.
Family operations you're talking about here. All these sponsors are family operations.
Exactly.
Which is cool.
Yeah. And then Battleborn wheels. The wheels probably
there you go.
The toughest wheels I've ran. I haven't been able to flat spot them, and I've ran on flat tires in the past, and the wheel's still fine. Mm-hmm. And when I run on flat tires, I don't slow down. No. So I'm hitting rocks still with them, and they hold up extremely well. And then just another shameless plug for myself at 13 Fabrication.
Heck yeah.
Do it.
Local Bay Area guy that just likes
Working
to tinker
out of his shack.
to tinker and build cool things for people.
Oh, nice. For sure.
Yeah.
We've seen your work, man, and it's impressive. And you're not in this high dollar shop with the latest and greatest equipment. You got some great equipment, but it's like it's talent, and I recognize that.
Thank you.
I've seen
talent recognizes talent.
Yeah, exactly. It takes talent.
Even though he drives
even though I question your judgment by driving a Dodge.
That's
but,
okay. You can question that all you want.
Okay.
It's okay. Yeah.
But no, full props to you, man. And building a car from scratch and going out and racing it at KOH is that's no freaking joke. So
hopefully next year you'll see a couple cars that have. I redid the front end on one car that he was out pre-running with me and was one of my pit crews this year. So hopefully he's going to be running next year. I redid the whole front end of his 4500 class car that another shop built.
Awesome.
And then another guy, he's working on getting some cash together, but he's going to bring me his 4500 class car now, and I'm going to cut the front end off of it and redo that for him as well.
Okay.
And then trying to talk him into building him a whole new car because his car has been through the ringer a time or two.
Out,
so he needs a little upgrade. So
okay.
Hopefully you might, in the next couple of years, you might see a couple more 13 Fab cars. And I'm working on something in the works for myself for hopefully building a new car, probably starting on it like later this year and working into next year. And
4400?
Yeah, it'll be a 4400 car, like independent front suspension and trailing arm in the back. Same setup with the offset motor like how I have now, just my own version of doing everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Been getting some cool hand-me-down parts from
I was going to say you showed me your stockpile of parts that you got on the shelf.
I gathered some new things recently. I'll have to show you some pictures. I'll just keep that between you and I.
Right on.
But yeah, I've been stockpiling some cool hand-me-down parts from people that they've redesigned things and can't use them anymore. And like I have no problem running some hand-me-down parts and
perfectly good stuff.
Yeah, it'll work fine for what I need it to do.
Heck
the trickiest part is figuring out how independent front suspension geometry works and building my own bulkhead setup and figuring out how to do all the
more you know.
Yeah, exactly. The more you know. Yeah, it's going to be a learning process. I've been starting to read up on it and trying to educate myself a little bit for that.
Right on.
Yeah.
Cool.
Man.
Man, a lot of changes, a lot of stuff. People stepping up and
just
moving up.
Progressing. I mean, it's
Absolutely.
just, embedded in the race culture, and it's like you gotta...
It's a sickness.
It really is.
It's a sickness. Like,
but there's the worst things.
Yeah, I would rather be hooked on this than like some other drugs or something like that.
You know? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know. Meth is a hell of a drug. You boys like Mexico?
Yeah, it's
adrenaline and chasing the high of just of adrenaline. Like, it's what we all do. Like, I don't think I can ever not be in a race car or doing something like in the off-road world. I just don't think I could ever do it.
Yeah.
I've thought about like hanging it up a few times and just like had a good run at it. I've been doing this for 15 years now. I'm actually almost probably 16 years. I'm 32 now. I've been doing this for a long time, and like luckily I've had some great success over my time, and it's hard to top that. And like, everyone wants to leave when they're out on like up on top, but I'm not ready to give it up.
No,
you're still young,
Yeah.
man. Come on. I wish I was 32 again.
Well, you figure like guys that are like race Supercross, they normally retire right around like 32 years old.
Yeah, but they're getting beat to I mean, not that you're not getting beat to shit, but a motorcycle is getting
less protection on a motorcycle.
Oh, exactly.
A lot less.
But no, like
with age comes a cage.
Yes, I figured that out at a young age because I raced motocross growing up too.
Right.
So like it's still you've been doing, like I said, I've been doing it for 15 years, 16 years now. I've been on the professional level of rock crawling competitions. Like, I've luckily been able to travel to Australia, to Japan to compete.
Right.
I've gotten to do some really cool things in the last 15 years of racing and just competing in general. And I don't know, it makes you think of like, is it time to hang it up?
No. As long as you're having fun, and you got the means to do it, and you got people supporting you.
Yeah, I won't. At this past Hammers, like I was thinking about like this year might have been my last Hammers, but I'm like, no, I'm not stopping. I can't do it.
No, perfect.
So I really, it has crossed my mind a few times, but I can't let go of it.
No, don't.
So a question I have is the rock crawler. Are you going to be doing any competition rock crawlings in 2021?
That car is going to be coming up for sale.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
There you go, Chris.
Working on cleaning it up, and she's going to get posted for sale here soon. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to compete with it. The owner of the car, he's not going to compete with it either.
Okay.
Yeah. We've talked about it, and like he won't even deny this. He goes, dude, you put that car into places that he just could never do. And he said what it takes to be competitive in that level, he just can't do that. It's not like he's a damn good trail wheeler, but he just like competing wise, like you end up getting like on some really screwed up side hills, and it messes with his equilibrium a little bit. And he just doesn't like it, and that's okay. Like I'm not going to ever knock a person for that, but it's a really good car. It's been competitive. It was the first car I actually built for some personnel or somebody else. So like I said, that car is gonna be coming up for sale here soon, and just going through it, kind of cleaning it up, prettying it up from the last time I had it at the We Rock event in Cedar City.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, but you got the NorCal Racing Series. You're gonna compete in that in April coming up here.
Yeah. So it's a week after the Ultra 4 Moab race.
Yeah.
So I'm skipping out on going to Moab to concentrate on going for the NorCal Rock Racing Series Championship. So I believe it's the weekend of 16th, 17th, which last time I talked to the promoter, he's banking on it happening in Fernley. Oh. I know there was talk of it being at Wild West, but I don't know if that county is going to be open enough for them to be able to do that. It's still the county. Yeah, but it's still county base. Yeah. Huh. I think the Wild West is still in like Washoe County or something like that, and they're still pretty strict on things. So but Fernley is pretty much opened up, so if they can, they've had
literally
they've had quite a few races out there already out in Fernley, so they're gonna do that. And then I'm racing there. It's a 3-event series for NorCal.
Okay,
I'm gonna hit the new Great American Short Course Series, Dave Cole's new thing that took over for. I was gonna hit probably a couple of those races, and then I'm going to try to make it to LS Fest too at the end of April, and then also
Las Vegas.
and then also the Ultra 4 Nationals too.
Okay,
yeah,
cool,
right on. Well, the Nationals, I hope I hope all this shit happens this year.
Yeah.
I really missed out. I mean, I love King of the Hammers. I love the Nationals.
Yeah.
And it's closer to home.
It's
a lot
for
closer
sure.
to home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
And
if you get
spot.
a chance, I'm going to go to the Ultra 4 Crandon race too. So
I know. Cardenas is
the
there.
big house. It's the big house. You got to go.
And they're one of our listeners reached out to me that lives there. And I'm like, Travis, and he's right near there. And I go, man, that would be great to get out there.
Yeah.
It's going to be a long trek, but I'm looking forward to it. I've been wanting to go there for years.
Yeah, heck yeah. It's a week-long fun. The whole town embraces that.
It does.
Just bring your snorkel. That's all.
Bring your snorkel. Oh, you're talking Bailey Cole reference there. Nice. Jesus, you just want to go.
I'm going to knock on wood that doesn't
I
happen
know.
for me.
That was
No
crazy.
doubt.
Yeah.
So crazy. The submarine incident.
Yeah,
Jeez.
seriously.
But, okay, cool. So that's, you could just,
He's got a busy year.
making it happen.
This is my year to concentrate on racing
Good.
and trying to get my name back out there and try to stay up on top of
Sure.
everything. And said I want to. Obviously, the goal is always to go out and win as many races as
Sure.
you can. So, yeah,
That's awesome, man. Right on.
Well,
yeah.
Well, hey, thanks for your
cool.
time, Justin.
Yeah.
And
always
great
always
stories.
Always fun hanging out with you guys.
Yeah, no, likewise, and I love it. We had talked, and obviously we saw you down there at the race, but I didn't know half of the stuff that happened during the race, other than you losing the belt tensioner.
Yeah,
So,
no one ever does.
and having to hold your finger on the freaking circuit breaker,
breaker.
trying to keep the tranny fan going. I mean, these are things this is real world shit that happens
And it's
during a
not-
race that
yeah.
people don't even think about.
Nope.
Not to mention you're getting the shit beat out of you, and regardless the car that you're in, it's just some great.
Oh, and
stories.
there's always stories that will pop up later that I forgot to mention in this too. And when you mentioned the transmission breaker, I forgot that my crankcase breather popped out too, and I kept seeing puffs of smoke, so I had to stop, pull my dash out to get to the crankcase breather and put it back in. And there's all kinds of little things like that just you forget to tell the whole in the heat of telling your story.
Yeah.
Sure, and then what's going on throughout the day? There's so many things. And it's just constant chaos.
Yeah.
Because a puff of smoke is where there's smoke, there's fire, and fire is bad.
Yeah,
You don't want that.
especially I'm driving through trail. I'm like, why am I seeing I kept thinking it was dirt. I'm like, it's not dirt. Like dust coming up, but no, it was puffs of smoke, and it's coming from behind my dash. I'm like,
Yeah, that's
normally
not good.
means electrical issues. I'm
but you didn't smell electrical. I mean, so
you can smell the difference.
Again, knowing your car inside and out and being in tune with your car, it's those little things, and you're like, okay, that's not normal, but that's not electrical. You start going through the processes in your head, and it's do I pull over? Do I keep going? Where's this at? Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, and I watched the smoke for a while.
Yeah.
to see what it was going to do.
Yeah.
You don't just ooh, smoke going to stop.
Yeah.
Whatever.
No, we're racing. It's race day.
Yeah. You try to not get out of your car much at all.
Right, because if you're not moving, you're not winning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I said, we need to keep that average speed
Amber
up.
said that.
Yeah, that average
Gotta
speed
keep
needs
moving.
to stay high.
Keep moving.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Justin. Super appreciate you popping in.
Of course.
Yeah.
Short
This is-
jaunt up to San Jose.
Yeah, no, you're not that far away,
Like
which is great.
20 minutes away.
We've got all the racers right here in the Bay Area. You know,
It's a nice place to be.
It's not bad.
Great weather and great racers all around. us.
Kevin's a little, he's only 3 hours away.
a little bit more of a
Amber's
pop,
3.5 hours away.
Yep.
Yeah.
But we're pretty centrally
We got
located.
EV
to the
boys are just down the
EVE's
street.
right down the street.
Yep.
Kyle, Will Speck.
Sweet.
They're around this way?
Yeah. Kyle's literally 15 minutes from my house where he lives, and then
I thought their
Will's in
shop
Newark.
was in
Newark.
Oh.
Yeah, Fremont.
Oh, so that's only Fremont.
Yeah, it's not that far.
Oh, shoot. That's
Yeah,
not far
sure.
at all.
Right
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
He just got a new mill. Millie.
Millie the
Ooh.
Mill.
Bridgeport.
Damn.
Yeah,
It's fancy.
nice. Yeah, pretty fancy.
It is fancy.
About the only tool I really want is a small benchtop lathe with
Yeah.
a 2 or 3 inch jaw on it. That's all
Yeah.
I need. And I just haven't been able to find one yet.
Yeah.
One that runs off 110. I don't want a 220
well, that's
or
the problem. You got to get a 3-phase and then
then convert it over. And
you have a mill? Did you? No, you don't have a mill. Your mills are pretty fucking cool.
you kidding me? I just got a cable for the first time.
I might know where one's for sale. Anyways, yeah.
Might need to talk after this.
Yeah. So, anyways, very cool, good stuff. Chris, we got a couple of reviews to read.
Yeah, we get down to business.
I got some
a little bit
shout
more
outs here.
business.
I've been sending out some stickers.
Yeah.
So Dawson, Baby Jeep Racing at baby_Jeep_racing on the IG.
Sweet.
So got some stickers coming out your way. And then Travis, which is out in Wisconsin, I mentioned earlier. Mm-hmm. So he's at 715 Butter. And then, Rock Lizard.
Rock Lizard.
Yeah, the Fabin FABN 801. They're out of Utah.
Right.
So stickers coming your way if you haven't got them already. And then our buddy Benji in Australia.
Ooh, baby.
Yeah.
He just got married.
Yeah, he just got married. That's what I was going to say. So Ram Customs.
Congratulations, Benji.
Yeah, congratulations or condolences. His wife looks beautiful. So, you got lucky
They're
there.
both great people.
Are they?
I love
Okay.
Benji. Yeah, I met Benji the first time I went over to Australia. I've been over
Really?
there 5 times, and he's still one of my really close friends that I talk to all the time.
Yeah, so he's a
Benji's awesome.
big supporter of the podcast. So, shout out to you, Benji. And you should be back from your honeymoon by now.
Yeah.
It
It was funny. He sent me a Snapchat with him wearing my Rock Hard Racing shirt out.
did
his
he?
honeymoon.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, he was sending me shots. I mean, he had like that's why I sent it out on my story. I'm like, hey, can I post some of these pictures? Because he had rock crawlers show up at his wedding.
Yep.
I'm like, this is how you do a wedding, boys. Right.
So
here.
what's funny about that? That was his the first time he completely rebuilt
Just
his own
finished that car.
Yeah, he just finished. He completely rebuilt it from the ground up. And then, that was like the maiden voyage.
So he was
it.
sending me updates exactly, and then they went to fire it off, and then he had major engine failure.
Yeah.
Whoops.
And had to go and find another engine.
Yeah.
To put into this car,
Those
and
Toyota
like days
engines?
before.
No,
it's a
it's
Dodge,
no,
so
it's an LS motor.
You go through like 6 of them before
It's
you
an
find one
LS
that
motor.
works.
Don't let him kid you. It's an LS motor.
No, it's an LS motor. But
Isn't gasoline like $800 a liter there or something?
It's not cheap, that's for sure. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
That's the weirdest thing. And what's also weird about Australia, you pay after you get gas.
oh, so you fill up and then
you go inside and pay.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was
is
super
odd.
trippy. The first time I went there, my buddies played a prank on me, and they're like, "Oh yeah, go pay for gas." And the lady's like, "No, you pay after." I'm like, "No, they're telling me to pay now."
Yeah,
I'm like, no, you go
no.
afterwards.
So they must be more honest there because a lot of people here would just.
Oh no,
gas.
yeah,
fuck yeah.
no, yeah. They'd be like, "Oh, cool, free gas later."
See
Yeah.
ya.
I'm sure it happens over there too, but yeah, for the most part, you always you fill up first and then go in and pay.
Right on.
Wow. So yeah. So
Right, a little tangent there.
no, I love it. Those are great stories. That's real life, man. In Australia.
Sweet.
Do you get if you go like over 80 gallons in a fill up, they give you a free little jar of Vegemite.
I hope not.
That's probably just Benji floating around, bringing it around to you.
I really hope not.
Oh man. And then Amber was on the Welding Women's Syndicate there.
Yeah.
We watched that. That was pretty cool.
That
Little
was
IG
cool.
post a week ago or so. But great interview there. And so check them out. The Welding Women Syndicate there.
Right. The whole interview is available on Instagram.
Yeah, you can go back and look at it.
Totally available.
Yeah, Amber's there in front of a race car, Suzuki there, 468.
That's right. Sammy.
Yeah. What else? So you got some reviews to read?
I do. I think we have 4.
Holy smokes.
4 new reviews since we last read reviews.
Okay.
I know we've been traveling and we're going to be traveling again here pretty quick. But anyway, in the meantime, for your listening pleasure.
Oh boy, here we go.
So we have Aaron Russell from Australia.
Yes.
He wrote a review. Very nice. He 5-star.
You gonna read it in an Australian accent?
Yeah.
I can't do Australian
Come on.
accent. That's just a
Try.
Good
day, mate.
We may have read this one already because we still don't know what TFYN.
Oh no!
snail
So
trail
I did
4x4.
find out what that is.
Oh, do you?
We
Okay.
did. We did.
Okay.
I had reports. Hang
Great.
on.
Okay, so we had a question. So we've read this.
What's the acronym?
No, I'm. yeah.
Hashtag TFYN snail trail 4x4.
Okay, hang on. I'm gonna find. I got it here. Just stand by. You go ahead and read the other ones.
Another one. Okay, so we have Ali L8 from Australia. Another one. Holy moly! Had to steal my wife's iPhone and work out how it works. Smiley face. Smiley face. Smiley face. Great podcast, lots of rabbit holes and rambling and the occasional drunken rant. Thank you. Well worth a listen if you like four-wheeling or whiskey or wine.
Or wine. Yeah.
Thank you, Ali L8. That's cool. Are you ready down there? Still not ready? Okay, I'll keep going.
No, keep going. Lorenzo's not here to help me out, man.
Lorenzo,
it's so tough.
He's on vacation
so much
somewhere,
stuff. Yeah,
or maybe he's tied up and... It's not
I hope he's still alive. I hope he's still alive.
If you can't be donkey tied. If it's hot, you're hog tie a donkey.
Tied.
How does that work?
That
Can
sounds,
you hog tie a donkey?
That sounds bad. It might be I
don't know
the way this podcast has been going. I don't
Pineapple.
Pineapple.
All right, this is from T-Bob 134. He's an American out of the United States of America.
USA.
5-star review.
Okay.
This has become my favorite off-road podcast. And here we go. I'm an off-road junkie and listen to a number of off-road podcasts. Some are good, some not so good. WW&W is at the top of my list. Really enjoy the banter, the interviews, the bourbon opinions, and the discussions on all the West Coast wheeling areas. I'm an East Coaster. Oh, shit, I got to click here. I'm an East Coaster. Keep up the good work.
Well, that's cool. And so, out on the East Coast, and then he's hearing about all our Sierra trails and stuff.
Hell yeah. You got to come
right
out.
on.
Make a road trip.
Right on.
You still not ready?
Thank you I am ready. Why do I? No. You doubting me.
It must be just written on your forehead.
Apparently. I don't know. I'm sitting over here like waving my phone that I'm ready.
Okay. Right on.
Okay. So TFYN Snail Trail 4x4, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank fuck you're not Snail Trail 4x4. That's what it stands for.
Holy shit, that's freaking great.
God bless you, Aaron.
Sorry,
that is amazing.
Sorry, Snail Trail.
And that's Aaron with ARR, not AARON, not Aaron.
That's right.
But anyways, yeah, Aaron Russell, Australia, thank you for the support and giving it to the Snail Trail boys. Love it.
And the last one is from Huey Red Dog.
Oh, Red Dog.
United States of America.
Wow, I like how you're throwing in the
countries.
there.
Yeah.
This is where they're located.
Okay.
Entertaining podcast. Really enjoy the camaraderie between Jason and Chris. 5-star review. Awesome times.
Hey,
there it
perfect.
is.
Right to the point.
Yeah.
I love it.
Short, simple, and right to it.
Yep.
So how many reviews do we have now? 120 something?
There's a lot. It just keeps going. I'd have to count them up. Maybe I'll have that update for the next episode.
But it is. I think on iTunes, and iTunes really lagging because I know there's like 6 reviews that we've gotten that don't register on iTunes for like a week later.
It's the proofreading.
I think it is. It's the monkeys proofreading it and giving the check symbol that it can go on the iTunes or no, it's going to get deleted.
For sure.
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't know.
Yep.
But hey, thank you all for the reviews. It really helps us out.
Yep.
And the positive comments, being at KOH and meeting a bunch of people down there was awesome. And seeing people wearing our swag and our stickers on different coolers and rigs and
seeing videos that are up on YouTube, and all of a sudden you see our buffs on.
Yeah,
people,
that's cool.
Awesome.
Yeah,
that's really cool to see that.
That was great. We got to thank Johnny for helping us out. Get all the swag out, but
dirtbag clothing.
Yep, dirtbag Johnny. But yeah, very, very cool. We love where this is going. We're coming up on our 100th episode.
2 more episodes.
Holy heck! It's
going to be epic.
Scary.
Epic.
I'm scared. I'm nervous.
Well,
I don't know.
We'll either.
I wish
Sink or
Lorenzo.
swim.
Do you think Lorenzo will be back for the 100th? He's got to know it's coming up.
He's probably working his way back to you.
I gotta imagine. I
He's just trotting
haven't heard
himself
anything.
around. He's just
So
looking.
if anybody's heard anything, please just anything. Just give me a glimmer of hope that he's still alive. 1,
Send up a smoke signal.
2, that he cares. But maybe he doesn't care anymore, and I get it. I get it.
You put a lot of blood, sweat, and fur into this thing. So.
Blood, sweat, and fur. Exactly right. I've got one more shout out that's not even 4-wheeling related, but whiskey related because I went and got new ski boots. I had to get new ski boots. I clapped out my old ones. I just ran them too hard. I do. I ski hard, fast.
You're
not
such
so
a snow
fast.
bunny, Jason.
Work less, play more, right?
Right.
I'm not going to complain about that.
It's my favorite thing to do. I love the mountains. I love skiing. And so I had these boots that I'd been pushing for 6 years, and finally I knew I needed new boots. And was at Kirkweed, some people call it. Incredible mountain, incredible freaking terrain. There's so many troughs and chutes and stuff there that if you want to get wild, you can get wild out there. And I don't shoot off cliffs anymore and roll up the windows. Not that I ever like really sent it before, but before I had a house payment. But I do love the steeps there, and the snow is second to none. In California, we don't get the champagne powder of Colorado or anything, but
it's colder there.
Get some pretty damn good dumps here recently at Kirkwood. Anyways, I had to get new boots, and I was just like, just punch out my old boots. And the guy's like, really? You want me to? It's like working on an old clapped out Toyota. It's like, this thing's done. Frame's bent. Axles are leaking oil.
Raisined up.
Raisined up. It's like, you need to upgrade. And I'm like, fuck, okay. So I got new boots, and Paul there at
Hashtag Jason Money.
Kirkwood, no. Credit card. Credit card's a great thing. And I tried to use your credit card number, but it didn't go through.
No, my credit cards
You keep
are all
changing your
canceled.
credit cards. Yeah, it's tough. So Paul really helped out there, and Craig and Chris. So I know they should be listening now because they love to hear about whiskey. We talked a lot about whiskey while we were doing boot fitting. And anybody that's a skier that does has had boots properly fitted knows that it's a long, arduous process. And luckily, they made it painless. So got to give them a shout out. And I turned them on to some, of course, Old Elk.
Right,
and,
of course.
Some bourbon. So hopefully they check that out. But Paul, Craig, and Chris at Kirkwood Mountain Sports there on Kirkwood Mountain. If you need some boots, go see those guys. They totally took care of me and hooked me up. So there you go.
They'll be happy to take your money.
There's the skiing update of Wheeling Wine and Whiskey.
Well,
we're nearing the end of the season, but I'm going to squeeze in a few more days before the snow is totally gone and the resorts close.
Well, you're getting closer and closer to rock crawling season here.
Yes.
In the
and you're going to do some rock crawling,
I plan
apparently.
on it. The rig's ready to go.
Plan on.
No, there's no planning. It needs to happen, Chris.
So we're
going to make this happen. We're going to hog tie you.
We're going to do the Rubicon, Ford Ice to some degree. I'm not sure how far I'll go on that one, but definitely doing the Rubicon at least once this summer.
You can get all the way through the Rubicon, no problem.
No, I know I'm going to do the Rubicon all the way.
Yeah, because there's no excuses this year.
No,
you got the axles, you got the gears, you got everything. You got the tent. You
have a good tow rig to tow it. Your Dodge.
Yeah. Oh well, that's questionable.
No, hell no.
I can see that being an excuse. That's a big crutch right there. But
we're going to hold him down and hog tie him.
No, we're going to hog tie you.
We're just gonna stamp Dodge on him at one point.
But we got to. You've heard it here several times on Wheeling Wine and Whiskey that Chris is going to do the Rubicon this year. So
I'm going to do it. That's for sure. At least once. We'll see if maybe twice. We'll see.
We're going to have to go kidnap you, I think. But anyways, we'll see how this goes.
So I'm looking forward to the wheeling season. The Jeep. I started the Jeep up the other day. It still runs.
Wow.
It started right up. It's ready to go.
Good.
So I just need to change out that stupid winch cable. I haven't done that yet. So
yeah, and you have a brand new from Freedom Ropes, right?
Freedom Rope.
So Freedom Ropes hooked you up, and you got a.
I paid for it.
Well, I know, but they hooked you up with a nice rope.
I got a rope and I think a tree saver came with it in a little bag.
And a didn't you get a clevis? A rope
right,
clevis
I got a soft shackle.
Yeah.
So and of course
that's what your wife said. You got a soft shackle. Where's the drum roll on that one? The rim shot. Come on.
It's funny how slow he is to hit the things are now when it's him.
There it is. There it is.
So
soft shackle.
And I also have the new Fairlead to go with it, the Haas Fairlead. So.
Oh yeah, did you get the one from Lee Lim that says "Will winch for beer"? I need to get one of those from him.
I bought a Factor 55.
Oh yeah,
they're good stuff. I run all Factor 55 stuff on my car,
which is owned by Warren now.
Right?
Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're owned by Warren.
Owned by Warren.
Yeah,
but I also got the fancy Factor 55. What are they? The hook to replace the hook.
Oh, you
Yeah.
got the hook. Oh, you got the big snap hook one?
No, the
or
like
did you
you
get the
have
one
with
like
the
I have?
thimble thing.
Just the thimble, yeah,
Yeah,
the
okay.
closed loop system, which is great.
Yeah.
Which is
So-
great. You can put your soft shackle through there.
Exactly. So
You
I'm
know,
going to get
hard
that all
shackle,
dialed in here shortly.
whatever you want.
I was looking at that yesterday when I was idling the Jeep to warm it up and bring up to operating temperature.
Highly recommend. This is the pro tip. Is have a closed loop shackle
for sure.
system. Factor 55 obviously does one of the best. So they have a few different hook options.
Some of that stuff gets
are closed
pretty
loop.
spendy.
Well, it gets
It's worth
spinny, but it's good. And
You get what you pay for.
You
at
get
the end
what
of the
you-
day, especially
Exactly.
in like recovery gear. You don't want to skimp on it.
no,
No.
and I'll tell you, we've done enough recoveries, and I've seen a few things go south with poor equipment, and
Yeah.
shit fails. But man, that Factor 55 stuff's great. We're not sponsored by them, but we
Nope.
could be.
We should
if
be.
you're listening, Factor 55.
So
Are you sponsored by Factor 55, Justin?
No,
okay,
I'm
so there's
not.
two. There's
Yeah.
two people right there
Yeah.
you could sponsor
Yeah.
right there.
absolutely,
Factor 55.
absolutely.
Warren.
So there you go. You got
All
a
right.
full report, and I don't know. You got anything else?
I got nothing else down here.
I don't have anything
This has
else.
been a wonderful afternoon. Thank you again, Justin, for coming out. So
Thank you for hosting and having me out here.
Heck
And
yeah!
inviting
So
me over to your
check
lovely
out
place.
at Rock Hard Racing
Yep.
on the gram,
Yep.
at 13 Fabrication,
Yep.
and at Justin 13.
It's that Justin 13.
That Justin 13.
Yes.
at that Justin.
That's the
13.
personal account.
Okay, yeah, that's the one where you'll see all the
The shenanigans.
the
that happen.
shenanigans stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, the White Claws and all that stuff.
What?
No, I don't go. I don't
Oh,
drink White Claws. No.
Trulies.
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 I'll mess with Trulies. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yikes.
Did you see my White Claw meme the other day on the gram? The
I don't
story?
think so.
Oh yeah, it's like
I might have. I don't remember. I see so many stories.
yeah, it's like this really buff, chick holding up this guy, and it's like, yeah, when you drink White Claws and your chick drinks whiskey, so, yeah, it's really good. So the Truly thing would apply to that as well.
Yes, it would. It would still
anyways.
fall under it.
Yeah.
You just insulted our guest. Anyway.
No,
Hey,
I'm not
hey,
insulting
I
him.
drink whiskey,
He already
too.
drives a Dodge. I can't insult him anymore.
Oh, we're not even going to get into that
Okay,
one.
here we go.
Wow. All right. So if you want to get a hold of Jason or I, you can Jason or Chris at wheelingwineandwhiskey.com. You know what? Out of pity, send Lorenzo an email at lorenzo@wheelingwineandwhiskey.com.
See if he'll answer. He hasn't answered us.
see if he'll answer. And then, of course, don't forget about the IG,
Hey.
Wheeling Wine and Whiskey.
You ready for the applause button, Chris?
Hold on.
Okay, because IG, we have over 2,000 followers now on the IG. That's huge. We thought we might get 100, maybe 200 on a good day.
Yep.
We're at 2,000, so that's great.
Do you know who the 2000th person
I
is?
do.
Ooh,
I do.
A little something special.
I do. I will announce that. That's Alyssa Herbert,
Ooh.
who's on the IG, who is my roommate from college, Bill Herbert. It's his wife.
Oh,
Yeah. So she started following us.
this might be rigged.
No, it's not rigged.
Kind of sounds a little rigged.
Well, no, it's not. It's not. I asked her. So she's Alyssa Herbert on the IG. So
Okay, cool.
thank you, Alyssa. for
Congratulations,
being our-
Alyssa. Did you give her a
She
sticker?
didn't realize that she wasn't following
Following?
us,
Oh, my God.
even though she's known me forever. And I was at their wedding.
You
and
rectified that situation, though?
Yeah, I did.
Perfect.
It's all that matters.
It does.
Little
so I'm
things.
like, hey, you're not following us. You need to follow us. And oh, by the way, you're the 2,000th follower.
Right.
Hey, so go back to episode 6386
Right.
that Justin was on as well. So if you want to get the full Justin experience, 6386 and now episode 98 on Wheeling, Wine,
98.
and Whiskey. Justin, any final thoughts? Nothing?
No, just want to say thanks to you boys here at Wheeling Wine and Whiskey and invite me to come on now for the third time. It's been great.
Heck yeah.
Love doing this. And
We
look
start
forward to
charging
more.
after the third time. So
All right,
just,
cool.
get
So
ready.
it might be
Yeah,
my
this
last
will be the
time
last one.
here. So.
All right. And on that note, we're out.